Welcome in, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma here. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. If the quality sounds bad or anything, I'll go ahead and switch over to my other microphone. But good afternoon. First and foremost, it's 2:27 p.m. here on May 19th. Make sure that is the correct time. Again, I am Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma, and we are live tracking severe thunderstorms here across southeast Michigan today. First and foremost, we have number 1 warning of the afternoon. This is going to be for portions of Oakland County. So we'll go ahead and read off the details on this new severe thunderstorm warning again first of the afternoon. The National Weather Service in Detroit, Pontiac has issued this severe thunderstorm warning for Oakland County and southeastern Livingston County, both in southeastern Michigan until 3:30 p.m. At 2:25, a severe thunderstorm is located over South Line or 7 miles southeast of Brighton. Movement is east at 40 miles per hour, so rather quickly, but again, you still have time to prepare if you are downstream. Hazard is 60 mile per wind gusts and quarter-sized hail, so it is severe for both hail and wind. Damage to vehicles is expected. Wind damage to roof siding and trees also possible. The severe thunderstorm will be near Novi, Milford, and Northville around 2:30 p.m., West Bloomfield around 2:35, Southfield 2:40, Pontiac and Birmingham as early as 2:45, Troy, Royal Oak as early as 2:50, and Warren, Sterling Heights, and Rochester as early as 3 o'clock. Other locations impacted by this new severe thunderstorm warning include Franklin, Keego Harbor, Waterford, Orchard Lake, Commerce, Lathrop Village, Auburn Hills, Bingham Farms, Lake Angeles, and Farmington Hills. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. So that is what we have currently ongoing out there. This is the only severe thunderstorm warning in the state. The good news for those who are living over in West Michigan or Northern Michigan today, severe weather not as expected. Again, we could still see thunderstorms later, but the cold front is actually a little bit further south and east today than what was supposed to be modeled for this morning. And so the severe threat is primarily going to be along the I-94 corridor and to the east of the 127 corridor today. Again, that kind of lines up with where the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. So take that to note if you are to the west of US 127 and north of 94. Severe weather not really likely this afternoon. It is still a day where we have to be watching for any storms across the state to pop up and be severe, but at the current time this is primarily going to be in southeastern Michigan. If we go ahead and take a zoomed in look here, I'm going to go ahead and switch over our storm motion behind the scenes. So 252 at 34, just a little note here for myself to get the velocity lined up. That'll tell us exactly where we're downbursting at. And right now, that is going to be directly over New Hudson and just to the south of Milford. So if you guys were watching yesterday, we were talking about the velocity radar and how to read it pretty much every hour, because again, wind was a thing that we were watching the most yesterday. And we're going to be watching that again today, as that is the main hazard with these severe thunderstorms. You're going to get a thunderstorm that is downbursting and the wind kind of spreads out in all directions, and that is what we're kind of seeing right now in the New Hudson area directly on I-96. Again, this is heading for Wixom, Walled Lake, and Commerce very soon. And on velocity radar, we're looking for where these greens change over to these kind of light blues and cyan blues. Sometimes if they turn dark blue, that means it's really severe. But if I hover my mouse over some of these pixels here that are in the blue, we're seeing winds right up around 55 to 60 miles per hour, which would be severe criteria. As a reminder, severe criteria starts at 60 miles per hour, technically 58, but they do round up to 60 to make it kind of easy for everyone to understand. The latest update there kind of splits the downburst into two. The main concern right now is going to be the downburst in downtown New Hudson, right at Martindale and Grand River. Pretty much traveling right down 96. If you know someone traveling 96 between Brighton and Novi right now, good time to pull completely off the roadway. Wait until the storm does go by. And again, the motion is east at 40 miles per hour. So this is heading kind of off towards the Wixom area. Looks like it's going to be just skirting past Novi. Still probably will get some rain there in Novi, I would imagine, especially since it does extend down here past South Line into Whitmore Lake. But at the current time, most of these hazards are going to be off to the east and east-northeast a little slightly towards Wixom, eventually heading towards Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham, and Pontiac. The storm to the north we're also watching closely as well, because this does have a lot of instability associated with it. At the current time, it looks like it is downbursting as well. However, the winds in this little pack right here are not as severe as, I believe, the cell here in New Hudson. So we're watching that. Also, back to the west a little bit, we also have a special weather statement in effect for 40-mile-per-hour gusts for portions of Ingham, Jackson, and Calhoun counties. I will say this, there has been a 41-mile-per-hour report over there at the Jackson County Reynolds Field Airport, and that was as the storm moved through, and this is now moving into the Stockbridge area and eventually entering Livingston County. So behind the scenes, we do have a set of weather cameras to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find our Commerce Township camera in Walled Lake, and I do have it here. And this will have a good view on the storms coming in. And I'm already seeing a lot of scud associated with this. So scud is those wispy clouds that kind of stick down from the thunderstorm. They sometimes resemble, they kind of look like tornadoes, but they're not tornadoes at all. They'll just look like these wispy fingers that are sticking down. I'm seeing that right now on our camera. So I will go ahead and flip that over real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. If it lets
Joe,
me.
if you could share your screen when you get a second.
Yep. There you go.
Thank you much.
Yep. Trying to get my camera in over here right now, and it's not loading.
What camera you have pulled up?
There we go. I just had to kind of toggle it on, toggle it off. So this is going to be the Commerce Township cam, courtesy of Allcom in Walled Lake, and that is looking to the south. And you can see on the west side of the screen there's your severe thunderstorm moving into view. And there's the scud clouds I was talking about there, just right here on the right side of the screen. All of these wispy looking indices that are kind of sticking down out of the clouds. Again, that is a sign that it is raining, and then that rain, as that rain falls, it's being lifted right back up into the updraft, or the downdraft here, sorry, the updraft, and it's condensing again as it rises up. So that's how you get these wispy fingers. And you can actually see right there in between the trees, there's your torrential downpour moving into view as well. So this will be a cam to watch here in Walled Lake, or Commerce Township, courtesy of Allcom, as that storm moves into view. There you go. Your camera's live now. You are muted, I think.
I said hello, everybody.
There you go. So at the current time, we're watching about a half a dozen cells out there. The two that are severe warned are in Oakland County at the current time. We're also watching a couple of stronger storms back, in Jackson County and Livingston County. There's 3 or 4 total, primarily in Jackson County right now, but the northeastmost one is entering Livingston County as we speak, heading towards Gregory, Pinckney, Charleston, and Howell, especially with the east-northeastward movement with time. Primarily heading towards Brighton, though, with time as well. So Brighton, you may have just been skirted by the first storm. Second storm, however, is coming down the road in probably about 10 minutes or so. Again, motion on these storms today is off to the east, east-northeast, about 40-ish miles per hour. And right now we only have one severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that, again, is for Oakland County. If you guys are just tuning in, the details on this are for issuance until 3:30, and this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail possible. It's primarily for this secondary storm back here where we're seeing the better wind and the better hail, although now we're starting to see the downburst really start to take off in the Union Lake area too. So that front storm that we were just talking about that was looking weak has a downburst as well directly on Elizabeth Lake Road. It has moved. I gotta go back here. That downburst has moved over to Williams Lake Road at the intersection of Williams Lake and Homer, also in the vicinity of Elizabeth Lake and Williams Lake Road, as this moves off to the east towards Hospital Road. And that's South Hospital Road, heading towards Waterford. So it looks like both of these storms are now producing severe winds of 60 miles per hour. Number 1 in Waterford and number 2 down here in the New Hudson and Wixom areas. Latest scan would bring this damaging wind pocket right into Buno Road at the intersection of Buno and Old Plank, also heading up towards Childs Lake Road and eventually towards the Garden Road and Wixom, North Wixom Road area. So passing between Wixom and Milford at the current time with that second storm. So 1 and 2, both severe thunderstorm warned right now as they're heading in the general vicinity of Bloomfield Hills and Pontiac with time.
Hey, gotta watch the Stockbridge East area, increasing velocity on that cell that heads toward Genoa, Pinckney, and Brighton areas.
Oh yeah. Right there at Dexter Trail and M36. So right, pretty much in downtown Gregory. We'll have to watch that. Go ahead and switch back to our Walled Lake cam here real quick. Show you guys what the secondary storm looks like. Again, there's all of your scud and the rainfall that is coming with it on the right side of the screen here. Again, courtesy of Allcom. Shout out to Allcom for sponsoring this weather camera. Again, if you would like to sponsor a weather camera here at MSC, feel free to reach out and send us an email. And these are crucial on severe weather days like today. And right now, the wind, not terribly bad. You can see the American flag there waving in the center left side of the screen. But we imagine probably pretty soon here we'll see the wind double, probably up towards 40 or 50 miles per hour at the very least, especially as this area of scud kind of moves over the camera. It's also heading up towards our Lake Orion cam as well. See if I can pull that in.
I have it pulled in if you want to just switch me to my screen. I'm looking at it right now.
Perfect.
I'm not live?
You are not.
It says I am. Let me refresh.
Comment in chat says, it is continuous thunder in Waterford. Can anyone else confirm that? I would be not surprised by that, but that is also still an impressive feat, as this is a severe thunderstorm at the current time.
Try again. Is my link broken?
ST.
Yeah, that's it. I'm broadcasting.
I'll try refreshing it. There we go. Oh,
There we go.
I clicked it too many times.
Okay. I was going to say, what's going on here? There we go. Courtesy of Storm Guard in Lake Orion, facing to the southwest. So we see that cell moving in toward Lake Orion here. Looks like the DTW radar is back up and operational. That was down this morning, so that's good to see that back. Back to Stockbridge. Nice pocket of wind now, just north of Gregory, just south and east of Plainfield. It's going to be over Gregory State Game Area, heading toward Anderson Timber Trace Golf Club, and eventually up toward the Howell Nature Center into Genoa on the south and east side of Howell. So we've been Brighton to Howell on the 96 corridor there. This is heading your direction, and it's a nice big pocket, small pocket, should I say, of some decent winds here. Radar is picking up on these winds of 63 miles per hour, 63 miles per hour at its peak. So that is well over severe limits. And the good news is we're getting closer to the radar site in Detroit, so this data should become more accurate the further east and north it moves toward the DTX radar.
Yep. Yeah, some roads where that pocket currently are located. It's going to be Spears Road and Donahue Road, heading up towards Rose Hill Road, and probably crossing over Wasson Road at Dutcher and Pingree Road, and that is to the north and east of Gregory. Going to be sliding very close to the Pinckney area, kind of between that Howell and Pinckney stretch there. Again, that's County Road D19. It'll be crossing over within the next 5 minutes. Not a severe thunderstorm. There's no severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, in effect right now for this portion of Livingston County, but we would not be surprised if one is issued soon for this downburst of severe winds, which would be 60 miles per hour in nature. So stay tuned. Livingston County, you're likely going to see a severe thunderstorm warning, I would imagine, very, very shortly. So if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, again, the best place to be is inside, interior room, lowest floor of the building. Again, you do not want trees crashing through your exterior walls and then injuring you. So please be taking shelter right now if you're inside of these orange boxes, which right now there's only one of them. There might be number 2 here very soon if you're in Livingston County, but we can tell you right now, if you are in the Pinckney area, County Road D19's pocket of winds continuing off to that direction. So Spears Road at Pingree Road right now, about to head up towards Hinchy Road and Burgess Road. So again, if you know you're in southern Livingston County, you should probably be taking shelter no matter what, even if there is no severe warning in place. Those are some severe winds moving through the area. The wind has increased on our Allcom cam just a little bit. It's a decent wind there. I'm going to look at our velocity once again here, and yeah, our camera is going to be right in this area of Walled Lake, so they're pretty much right underneath the core, and I'm not seeing severe winds yet. Now that could change here in the next minute or two as that core passes over the camera, but again, still want to take this very seriously. Again, severe winds of 60 can bring down many trees in the area. And at the current time, there is also a second downburst with the lead cell in between Keego Harbor and Waterford. And that is going to be crossing over Highland Road very, very shortly. Highland Road at Sharon Street, eventually up towards Pontiac Lake Road and Scott Lake Road. Here's your core, by the way, right now. We're looking at those bright reds and bright greens moving out in all directions from the center of the storm. That would be a classic downburst signature. And again, severe winds start at 60. And the National Weather Service in Detroit has issued that severe thunderstorm warning for both 60-mile-per-hour winds and the chance for 1-inch hail. So if you do have 1-inch hail or any sort of hail falling in your neck of the woods, feel free to send in that report. You can DM that to us on Messenger. Please only use Messenger for damage reports today. Do not ask us questions in Messenger. Again, we are live covering storms here for you guys to witness with us. So we have two impressive downbursts right now, one heading right into downtown Pontiac, and the other one back here in the Gregory and Pinckney area. I would say a third one in the Wixom area, but right now with our cameras there, it looks like it's just below severe limits. So it looks like we're chilling for now in Wixom. You still want to be taking shelter and waiting until the storm passes because, again, downbursts can happen in minutes to seconds without any notice on radar. So please stay in shelter until both of these storms do pass by. Again, Brighton, you should be on alert for the storm moving in from the west right now in the Gregory area. Again, those are still severe winds that are showing up at 1,800 feet off the ground, 61 miles per hour here on Pingree and Spears, just about 2 to 3 miles northwest of Pinckney. And there we go. Suddenly, just like that, as I mentioned here, it takes one scan and all of a sudden there's your severe winds again. So that middle cell that we're looking at right now, aka the second cell in Oakland County, has pixels of now 60 miles per hour once again right on Beagle Road in Bass Lake Road. This is pretty much heading up into Commerce. Sleeth Road here is the main road that runs east to west through the area. So Sleeth Road and surrounding neighborhoods, 60 mile per hour winds moving through. Also, again, this lead cell is crossing Highland Road right now with severe winds as well.
Behind the scenes report, Joel. Go ahead and take the camera. I see what you're talking about. The winds are really cranking there now.
Yep, there they go.
Here at the Allcom camera. This is facing south out of Commerce Township. And that pocket of severe wind is, I believe, just north of the camera. So it's not even over the camera. It's just displaced off a little bit to the north behind it. But we're behind the scenes report of some downed trees coming in from the Milford area, I believe it was.
South of Milford.
Yep, Milford area.
There's your downburst. Look at that flag.
Yeah, it's whipping here. Very easily 50 mile per hour winds here. So and the camera is actually just south of the worst of it, so it's probably even worse a little bit further to the north. I'm also very shocked there's no warning for northern Washtenaw and southern Livingston County. The wind there continues to intensify all the way down to Williamsville, Unidalia, all the way up toward the Pinckney.
There you go.
In fact, there we go. There's your new warning incoming for the cell we're just talking about. Livingston County. Did they include Washtenaw with it? They did. So northern Washtenaw and southern Livingston County here. That warning's going to be for baseline hail, 1 inch in diameter, and 60 mile per hour winds. No surprise there by any means.
So that new orange box just popped in. If you are inside of that orange box, you are now in the risk for severe winds and severe hail. It's in effect till 3:45. At 2:46, severe thunderstorms will locate along the line, as you can see, from Howell to Pinckney to Chelsea, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Once again, that's 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail possible. And this storm is heading off to the east-northeast at 35. Severe thunderstorms will be near Heartland, Brighton, Chelsea, Pinckney as early as 2:50, Hamburg as early as 2:55, Dexter, Whitmore Lake as early as 3, South Line as early as 3:10. Other locations inside of this severe thunderstorm warning box include Hudson Mills, Lakeland, Linden Township, Hudson Mills Metro Park, Island Lake State Recreation Area, Charleston, Delhi Mills, Unadilla. Is that how you pronounce it?
Unidalia. Pronounce it.
Okay. We also have Pinckney State Recreation Area and Hell. For protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Again, this is 1-inch hail and 68-mile-per-hour winds. And this is going to be moving off to the east-northeast once again at 35 miles per hour. So Brighton is right in the thick of it in terms of severe winds that would be heading their way. But again, if you're anywhere in this orange box, you should be taking shelter now for those gusty winds. And as soon as that storm blew through Commerce, it is suddenly calm once again. Look how calm it is there.
Yep.
Comments are saying it's Unadilla. So I guess I was right. According to chat.
Well, I'm going to pull up the pronunciation guide then.
I mean, it's spelled like Unadilla. But if you are in Unadilla, you know that you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. You should be taking shelter inside till the storm is through. So 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now in the state of Michigan. There's your radar once again. You can see cells popping up all across southeast Michigan right now, but the only ones that are severe are here for portions of Livingston and Washtenaw counties and Oakland County here in southeast Michigan. Again, if you know you are inside one of these orange boxes, you are at risk for a severe thunderstorm, as that is what a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for. 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail are the main hazards. As a reminder, there is also a severe thunderstorm watch in effect across the entirety of southeast Michigan. As a reminder, a watch means that the conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms either very soon or later this afternoon. Doesn't mean everyone's going to get a severe thunderstorm, but the conditions are there and favorable for severe thunderstorms to develop. So everyone should be watching for severe thunderstorms if you are in a severe thunderstorm watch. You could also pull up the taco analogy if anyone needs further clarification. That's also a good reminder is parts of counties can get issued in a warning and other parts may not. So for example, right now Livingston County is split in half by a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you actually are in downtown Howell, the warning technically does not include you guys. It includes the very east side of town. But again, if you're off towards Weberville, Fowlerville, Chahocta, up to the north, you guys aren't in that severe thunderstorm warning box. You're not expected to see this thunderstorm that is heading your way. So again, even if you do get an alert on your phone saying severe thunderstorm warning for Livingston County, just note that the polygons you see on the screen are the official severe thunderstorm warnings issued by the National Weather Service. Those are verbatim, and so those are the actual areas issued in a severe thunderstorm warning. So for example, also down here in Washtenaw County, northern Washtenaw County is in that orange box. However, it does not include Barton Hills, Ann Arbor, Saline, Clinton, down towards Milan. You guys are not in a severe thunderstorm warning. So that is why it is important to kind of know where you're at on a county-based map, because sometimes severe thunderstorm warning may pop up, but it's not for you in your county. Right now, current time is 2:51. We are currently live here at MSC on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch TV, X, and TikTok. 5 different platforms that we are live on. So if one platform doesn't work for you or a relative that may not have a certain social media account, feel free to let them know that we are live on 5 different of our social media accounts at the username MI Storm Chasers. Once again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma up here in the top. We got Ryan, President of Operations, right below me here, and we are going to be tracking these storms live from beginning to end until, well, they are done. So right now that will be perhaps as late as 7 p.m. this evening. Again, that is when the severe thunderstorm watch is expected to expire. And as this cold front moves through, which cold fronts move through usually relatively slowly, we could see further development back off towards the Branch County, Hillsdale County area. So storms would be training over the same locations later this afternoon. So don't be surprised if, Jackson County, for example, they're getting their storms right now. They have a break and then more storms pop up back to the west. And so that's why the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect till 7, and it's only 3 o'clock right now, so we still have 4 more hours to go with these storms.
There's a nice pocket of 60 to 66 mile per hour winds heading into Pinckney, Genoa, and eventually into Brighton. Other areas include Hamburg Township, Whitmore Lake, Green Oak, New Hudson, and I believe South Lyon's in there as well. Milford, Wixom, downstream, as well as Novi, if that continues. A nice pocket, nice wide pocket of some pretty intense winds there.
Yeah.
Looks like the latest update did weaken the 66 down to about 60 miles per hour. So either way, we're still seeing that
Severe.
pocket. It's hard to grow. Definitely severe for sure. It's over Genoa down to Pinckney, moving into Hamburg and Brighton areas in about 5 minutes or less.
Directly over Charleston right now. But yeah, Brighton, Whitmore Lake within the next 5 to 10 minutes for sure. It just moves off to the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Off to the Oakland County storm again. We also are seeing these 60 mile per hour winds directly on Churchill Road. That's Churchill Road at Auburn Road. Also have Squirrel Road near M59. And so again, that's going to be the Troy, Rochester Hills area, kind of on the edge of the storm there. Again, this one's moving at 40 miles per hour. So Rochester Hills, Troy, this is going to be within the next 5 minutes for you guys as well.
My camera is live if you want a feed up in the top corner. You're welcome to take it. No, my video.
Oh. Your face? Your face?
No, my chase cam.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, you're already live.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. We can see
There's
more,
two of
Ryan.
them. Nice pocket of gusty winds heading into Rochester. I think Joel just mentioned that actually. Also need to watch these cells back to the south building in Jackson and eventually the southern part of Washtenaw County. Looks like we're pretty calm on those southern cells right now, but that may change as we progress further east. We have a nice cell over the east part of Jackson, also one near Brooklyn, and one heading in toward Brooklyn again, just north of Cement City. We have some cells developing further south into the Hillsdale County area, not quite mature, developing just yet, so I'll have to watch those as they progress eastward. We also have some cells up in St. Clair and Sanilac counties by Yale and Memphis, heading toward the Port Huron and Lexington areas. None of those appear to be of concern. We only have two cells that really catch my eye, at least. The one over Rochester Hills right now, producing some damaging wind, and the one heading into Brighton and Hamburg Township, also producing damaging wind. And if you're asking or thinking about anything tornadic today, it's a very low chance, and currently on the current time, which is 2:55, I don't see any rotation with these storms whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, but don't think damaging winds are worse than a tornado, because damaging winds are more of a wide swath in some cases, so this will bring down often more trees than what a tornado would. So please be in shelter away from windows and exterior walls as needed here. Again, Rochester Hills, as Ryan was mentioning, 60 mile per hour winds rolling in right now according to radar data. And the second storm, which is now severe thunderstorm warned within the last 5 to 7 minutes, heading into the, according to chat, it's called Chilson and Brighton areas here in Livingston County. Also Pinckney being impacted by these potential 60 mile per hour winds as well, according to radar data. Again, the beam elevation for our radar data at this point is about, if you go up to Brighton, it's about 1,100 feet off the ground. Pinckney is about 1,700 feet off the ground. So anything below those heights we just mentioned cannot be detected by radar, because again, the curvature of the Earth plus the slight elevation of that lowest angle of the beam, which is 0.5 degrees, again, won't be able to see anything below 1,000 feet in the atmosphere. So it may not be completely translating to the ground, but we saw firsthand here with our Commerce Township cam that most of it is. And so you do want to be taking shelter today if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're showing you guys dual radar right now. It looks like they went in rapid scan, so that's good. Left side of the screen is going to be your reflectivity, so that is going to be the intensity of the rain that is falling. And again, where the hotter the colors are, the heavier the rain, sometimes the larger the hail. In this case today, we aren't going to see much in terms of large hail over 1 inch. Most of it's going to be 1 inch or less. And on the right side of the screen is your velocity radar. and that is for wind. So anything in green and red, the brighter the reds, the brighter the greens, the heavier the wind is going to be. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in, and that is well needed for Macomb County, as that storm in Rochester Hills and Rochester itself is about 2 miles away from entering Macomb County. So we'll see that new warning box pop in just a second here. Go back to solo screen with the reflectivity radar. And there you go. So new severe thunderstorm warning in effect, issued by the National Weather Service in Detroit, Pontiac for all of Macomb County until 4 p.m. At 2:57, a line of severe thunderstorms were located from Romeo to Rochester to West Bloomfield, and movement is east at 40 miles per hour. That's 40. Hazard with this is 60 mile per hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. It is radar indicated, and so this is severe for both hail and winds. Again, that's the baseline criteria for both wind and hail at 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch hail. Severe thunderstorms in this new warning include Romeo, Sterling Heights, and Armada by 3 o'clock, Richmond 3:05, Memphis 3:10, Clinton Township and Macomb Township as early as 3:15, and Mount Clemens and New Baltimore as early as 3:30. Again, it's all of Macomb County, so that also includes Roseville, Shelby Township, Ray Center, Fraser, Utica, East Point, Washington, New Haven, Stony Creek Metro Park, and Centerline. Okay, move inside, interior room, lowest floor of the building if possible. Protect yourself from falling trees that may be outside on your property. I noticed the Lake Orion cam has a really good view of this storm as well as it starts to roll into Macomb County.
I do have it pulled up if you want to take it.
Yep.
I also have the Fenton camera pulled up too. Also has a good view on some darker clouds, but nothing really heading up toward Fenton just yet.
As courtesy of Storm Guard, Metro Detroit North, Storm Guard Roofing and Construction. Again, your top sponsor for the Oakland and Macomb areas, north side of Detroit, for all of your roofing needs. And they're one of our trusted partners here at MSC that also has a weather camera on their headquarters. That's a nice view.
Also the C-Tech camera. This is in Fenton facing to the south-southwest here. It's looking at the north side of that storm. I think the actual rain storms itself are going to either brush Fenton or miss it to the south. So no impact here, but still has a good view on the storms as they pass by.
It's still downbursting right over Rochester Hills. That Lake Orion storm looking to the south towards Rochester Hills. Again, Shelby and Utica would be up next for these gusty winds within the next 5 minutes or sooner. Looking at some pixels here of 60, 61 miles per hour right in the vicinity of the Clinton River Trail, Parkdale Road, and Washington Road. Again, it's about to cross over the county line. That's 23 Mile Road and Runyon Road. So again, really close to Shelby and Utica at the current time. It is continuing to gust off to the east at 40 miles per hour. So if you know you are downstream in Macomb County, you should be taking shelter. The core of this wind is going to be crossing central Macomb County. I think southern Macomb County is going to be good for now. However, we could see southern development, especially with this storm in tow and an outflow boundary, I believe, unless that's... Nope, that is an outflow boundary. You can see this light blue line that extends from Farmington Hills up to Birmingham from this lead line of storms. And that outflow boundary can fire off more storms further to the south. So we will have to watch the southern half of Oakland and southern half of Macomb County with time, because we could see further south development. And that is expected at some point, especially as storms come in from the west anyways.
Also to watch those boundaries today, Joel. If there's going to be anything rotation-wise, it's going to have to be enhanced by storm mergers, lake breezes, or surface boundaries.
Nope.
We don't have a lot of wind shear out there today to organize updrafts for rotation. But when we have these small-scale things like an outflow boundary or like a lake breeze or storm mergers, they can enhance storm interaction with those surface features. So it just kind of bears extra watching as we get through the afternoon hours.
Storm report coming in right now from southwest side of Oakland County. Thunderstorm wind damaged, observed down trees and large tree limbs. I think you were mentioning that, Ryan, south of Milford.
Yes.
So they officially logged that as an LSR there on radar.
Also, before you continue on, another pocket of damaging wind is heading right into Milford. So
Yep.
you guys are about to get a double whammy there. Storm after storm. So be mindful of that. Wixom, Milford, up to Highland, White Lake, and I believe it's going to hit our camera. We're going to become close to our camera in Allcom once again.
Commerce Township there, Walled Lake for sure. Do we have any other cameras in the vicinity here? I can't remember.
Now we have Howell, but that's kind of
It's facing the other way
now. I don't believe we have anything else in this vicinity.
We do have the Highland cam, I believe.
We do. That'd be the next closest one, I would have to imagine. Dearborn is the closest south.
Yeah, Highland's got a good view on it.
I can pull it up here. Give me a second.
I've already got it here. I'll go ahead and switch mine over.
I got it. Okay.
Check that. Check that out. There's your kind of weak-looking shelf cloud there, but shelf cloud nonetheless, and the torrential downpour heading right for our Highland camera. That is going to be. Oh gosh, I'm looking at radar here. I believe that is. They are in the severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah.
That is to the north and east of Milford, correct?
Yes.
Right there on M59.
That's correct. There's also latest scan on the radar. There's a pocket of wind heading right for the camera, so it's about to get really gusty.
Yeah.
I do have it pulled up if you want to toggle between radar and my screen.
Perfect. So we're watching multiple pockets of wind right now. Again, Brighton. We're looking at velocity radar. So as a reminder, that is where these brighter reds or these greens and reds turn to brighter colors. In the green, they'll change to these blues, and in red, they'll change to those yellows. So we're seeing that in multiple locations right now. Again, the green and the red, it just means that the wind is heading either towards or away from the radar site, which is located here in Clarkston. So you see storms to the east of Clarkston are in red, so because they're heading away. Storms to the west of Clarkston are in green because they're heading towards the radar site. So that's just the difference between the reds and the greens, essentially. Again, the brighter the colors, the heavier the winds. And so we're seeing multiple locations here in the Shelby and Rochester area. Have a couple pixels here now, potentially have 70 miles per hour at 1,100 feet off the ground in the vicinity of Park Road. Again, it's Park Road at Park Road, two Park Roads, and Lakeview Drive. A bunch of small roads in the area here. Also 28 miles between 26, 27, 28 mile north of Shelby, and Shelby itself crossing in through 24 mile and Malzen Drive at the current time. That's why there's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Macomb County right through central Macomb County. Severe thunderstorm warning for Oakland County was for this line of storms, and this is expected to expire in 24 minutes. They may reword the severe thunderstorm warning because it's a totally new storm here moving in from the west. So would not be surprised if Oakland County gets a warning on top of a warning for this new line of winds moving in here. Specifically, we have that pocket that we were mentioning heading for our Highland camera. That is at Sycamore Boulevard Drive. It's a little interchange there, right on M59, crossing over Milford Road North Milford Road right now. So just about 2 miles outside of Milford to the north. And we have this huge pocket of wind right now in Brighton and extending all the way up to 3 to 4 miles north of Brighton here in the vicinity of Hind Road at Hemp Hill Court.
M53 is about to get nailed by that 70 mile per hour winds. My radar is saying 72, 74 mile per hour winds here. Would not be shocked to see an upgrade to considerable warning, honestly, Joel, for this. This is actually fairly close to the radar, about 1,000 feet off the ground. It's here in Davis, Wolcott Mill, Ray Center, Meade, even more further downstream toward Armada, Richmond, and New Haven areas. You guys definitely need to be inside, away from windows. This is a pocket of wind that could be exceeding 70 miles per hour.
It just depends on how much of that is mixing to the ground, true, because we got ground as well, because we saw that yesterday where it got further away from the radar out here towards St. Clair County, and a lot of you guys that were watching yesterday from St. Clair County are saying, yeah, it's only gusting to 30 or 40 at the surface, but it is only 1,000 feet off the ground, as we were mentioning here, and again, winds upwards of 73 miles per hour. It won't take much. There's not much wiggle room for that to mix to the ground, so you should be taking shelter until these storms pass. 28 Mile Road again, that is M53 between Romeo and Utica at the current time. Also the north-south road of Schroner Road, I believe, is up next for that. And again, passing or going straight down 27 Mile Road. If this continues its eastward motion, New Haven would be blasted by this wind within time here, again by probably about 3:15, 3:20.
Several comments in our comments, down limbs and some small trees all across the area. We have one near Waterford, one just west of Brighton. We have some hail coming in near Pontiac too, pea-size in nature. The Highland County is being impacted right now.
Yep.
It's not intense just yet, but it is starting to rain and the wind is starting to pick up here. This is courtesy of Tony Serra Highland Nissan. This is facing west on the dealership. Appreciate Tony Serra Highland Nissan for sponsoring the camera. And the winds are gradually beginning to increase. Here it comes. Starting to gust now. Latest scan, though, does weaken the winds just a bit as it crosses into the camera here. So it appears it was stronger a little bit ago on radar versus now.
Yeah.
And that camera, for point of reference, is located on or just off of 59, just near East Highland area. If you have that little bump out on 59.
Yep, right here on the.
Yep, right there.
Right, yep, that's where the camera's located. I love our comments as well. They always are eager to correct us in our pronunciation. It's Shaner Road. This is that one that looks like Shoner or whatever it said. So, Shaner Road. I'm the west side of the state guy as well, so I'm more familiar with the names over on the west side. Ryan's more the east side guy, and I don't know if Ryan knew how to pronounce that.
Well, I recall, I think we had this before on a stream that we were trying to pronounce that exact road, so I think we've been here before.
Yeah. Even as native Michiganders our entire lives, we still have trouble with our own pronunciations here in the state of Michigan, so it happens, you know.
As an update, Joel, they did continue the warning from Macomb and kept it baseline at 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay. Hail still 1 inch?
Yes.
Okay. That wind also is now over M53, passing off to the east.
Also, we got pockets close to 65 miles per hour just in or just north of Brighton. Brighton Township, directly over US 23, just north of I-94. That's going to cross into Oakland County here shortly, into Milford once again. So you guys just got hit in Milford, you're going to get hit again. I'm going to switch the camera here off of the Highland cam and over to Allcom in anticipation for that storm.
Yep. Sun came out in Commerce Township, but it might be a trick. That is absolutely true. Again, you can see, again, Commerce Township is right here in the Oakley, Wolverine, Walled Lake area. And you still have a storm barreling down on you to the west. It's about 10 to 15 miles away right now with plenty of thunder and lightning and, of course, severe winds mixing in as well. There's your update. Still heading right into Milford at the current time. So more of an east-northeastward movement. Looks like it's going to skim New Hudson and Wixom and potentially even skim Walled Lake and Wolverine Lake. It's kind of heading up, again, as you mentioned here, towards that Highland cam and Commerce Township, of course, in general, and Milford. So continuing that off to the east, that would be Waterford and Pontiac once more, similar to what we saw with that first line of storms that moved through about a half hour ago. Those winds in Macomb County right now, still traveling right down 28 and 27 Mile Road at the intersection of Shaner and 28 Mile Road. Also very close to Stonegate and Setnor Court. Those are little private roads there, about to cross over Romeo Plank Road. So again, this is portions of rural Macomb County, north central Macomb County right now. Again, still heading straight for New Haven at the current time. And again, we will have a New Haven cameras coming at some point soon. And so when that does happen, we'll be able to kind of see these storms as they roll through Macomb County. I believe, Ryan, that's our only Macomb County camera that we have scheduled right now, unless I am thinking otherwise.
For right now, yes.
Yeah. Also, GR2 computer analysis does depict that there could be upwards of 1 inch hail now falling with this cell in Macomb County. 3D slice, hail course up to about 20,000 feet. It's not the most impressive, but it does look like it is falling out at the current time. It's downbursting, as we call it, directly there on 27 and 26 mile road for the hail core. So 1 inch hail possible, but the main hazard right now in Macomb County, central and northern Macomb County, is going to be those 60 mile per hour winds. And you can see that light blue line on the center of your screen here. There's your outflow boundary. That's going to pull those storms perhaps a little bit further south with time as the afternoon goes on. And we still are watching those storms down here in the Jackson and Washtenaw County areas for further severe development. At the current time, that is not ongoing. But there could be some pockets, isolated pockets of 30 to 40 mile per hour winds underneath these thunderstorms as they continue towards Ann Arbor. Getting multiple damage icons now across Oakland County. 48 mile per hour gust reported via anemometer and a train spotter there at Walton Boulevard, near Walton Boulevard and Brewster Road. So that's the Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills area. And again, we're still getting a bunch of damage reports coming in from those first storms in Oakland County from several snapped trees south of Milford and north of New Hudson. Again, that storm that was originally in New Hudson is now all the way off here to the north, Macomb County. Again, we're looking at those bright yellows, those reds changing to those bright yellows there, and that pocket of wind still traveling. We're right down 27 mile road. It's over, I believe that's Nutzman Road, or Nutzman Road at 29 mile, eventually heading towards Wolcott, and a wavy road that kind of runs through there. It's called Indian Trail near Hartway Road. And they are going to go ahead and issue a severe thunderstorm warning downstream for this pocket of gusty winds that is severe in nature heading towards St. Clair County. So we got plenty going on this afternoon. We'll have the details coming in just a second. There's your new severe thunderstorm warning at the current time. National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for St. Clair County until 4:30 p.m. At 3:13, severe thunderstorms are located along the line extending from Memphis to Macomb Township to Rochester, moving east at 45 miles per hour. It is radar indicated, and hail damage to vehicles and wind damage to roof-setting trees are all possible. Severe thunderstorms within this line will be near Richmond and Marysville as early as 3:20. Port Huron, it's a little generous. Port Huron, New Baltimore, well, yeah, I guess that is a little bit generous. Port Huron, 3:25, New Baltimore, 3:25, St. Clair, 3:30, Marine City as early as 3:40. So a little bit of heads up there. Want to be in shelter by those times for the wind and potentially the 1 inch hail. Also in the severe thunderstorm warning polygon, we have Anchorville, North Street, Adair, Rattle Run, Goodell's, Smiths Creek, Fairhaven, Wadhams, Riley Center, and Fort Gratiot. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Once again, that is 60 mile per hour winds, 6-0, and 1 inch hail. So St. Clair County, new warning there. It is now a trail of severe thunderstorm warnings from Livingston County through Oakland, through Macomb, and now up to St. Clair counties. We also do have a new statement coming in for Jackson. Looks like it's going to be this, I would imagine, this little sliver here of southwestern Jackson. Or sorry, southeastern Jackson.
That's correct.
Yep. So they're going 40 mile per hour winds and no hail for the southeast corner of Jackson. That is here in the Grass Lake, Napoleon, and Brooklyn areas. And if they do extend this downstream Washtenaw, we would see a statement coming in for you guys as well. But at the current time, no statements in effect or warnings in effect for Washtenaw. Also, looks like a statement coming in for Lapeer and St. Clair. I would imagine it's a storm. It's just south of Imlay City that is not in a warning.
Yep, that's correct.
All right. So that's the Elmont cell heading up towards Capac. Again, these storms are kind of moving more off to the east-northeast instead of east right now, but again, the outflow boundary kind of pull them south and east with time. It just hasn't happened yet. This storm is actually indeed heading, it's kind of splitting, Ryan. It's heading off to the northeast and even north-northeast more than any of these other storms.
I'll have to watch it carefully here. It's heading up toward the thumb region, and no wind on it that I'm seeing on radar at least, but we're getting further away from the radar beam, so.
They went 50-mile-per-hour winds and
50,
penny-sized,
yeah.
50 and penny-sized hail on that.
It's crazy. Looks
like it's it's definitely a storm split, so that is something we would have to watch. So if you're on I-69 between Emmett and Imlay City exits, it's a good idea to watch the storm very closely. If you know anyone that is out there, feel free to like and share, show you care. And that goes for anyone that's watching, of course, this afternoon. If you haven't done so already, feel free to like and share, show you care, for your fellow Michiganders around the state of Michigan. Primarily today, we are watching southeast Michigan. If you're off towards Lansing, Marshall, Kalamazoo, and points to the north and west, severe weather not likely this afternoon. This cold front is moving through at the current time slowly, but it is moving through today. And again, this is our last summer-like day of the week until we get into Memorial Day weekend, where those temperatures will eventually start to rebound once again more back up into the 70s. So we have a cool down coming next several days here, but again, we'll be back up to the 70s soon. For those who are eagerly awaiting summer, like some of us here, again, that is on the way. Going back down to surface level wind, the downburst right now, according to radar, number 1 is going to be in Milford once more. So Commerce Road, heading straight to downtown Milford at Lake Forest Way. We also have a second storm up here to the north that is also trying to downburst right now in the vicinity of Hatchery Road. That is traveling right down Walton Boulevard, about to cross over US 24. So Lake Angeles and Waterford, you guys are in the line of fire for that tiny little cell there near the radar site. And then moving back off to the east, we still have this wide pocket of wind that's kind of expanded across multiple cells here, just within central and northern Macomb counties. So if you're really just the north of Utica and M59 right now, that is where these severe winds are occurring. If you're to the south in that severe thunderstorm warning, most of these winds aren't making it down your way right now. Again, even no precipitation. You may get gusty from this outflow boundary, but no precipitation. No thunder or lightning all the way down there in Warren or Fraser or St. Clair Shores, for example. It's primarily off to your north. As a reminder, this is heading off into St. Clair County soon, and that is why they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this line to prepare. We do have more development down in, it looks like, Indiana and Ohio, but it has not yet really started to take off, so that's good for everyone living down in the Branch, Hillsdale, Lenawee, and Monroe County areas. However, again, severe thunderstorm watch in effect for those counties I just mentioned. Once again, that is through 7 p.m. this evening. Looking at our weather cameras, not anything too impressive. I'm seeing a little bit of turbulence on some of our cameras that are associated with these storms right now. But I'm not seeing too much in the way of like a shelf cloud, just torrential downpours and a lot of turbulence at the current time, which is a sign that it is windy out there today in some cases. But again, it's not like what we've seen yesterday with some of the shelf clouds out there with the gusty winds that made it across the entire state. So we also have a new damage report coming in, being relayed from the White Lake area. Large tree fell across Elizabeth Lake Road just west of Williams Lake Road. And that is as of 1835 UTC, which was about 2:35 this afternoon. About an hour ago. That was associated with the storm that is now over in Macomb County, heading for St. Clair County. So this storm in Macomb County has had a history of tree damage across Oakland. So you do want to be taking this seriously and taking shelter if you are in Armada, Richmond, New Haven, and New Baltimore until this storm passes. They also issued, for those who are curious that may be watching, I guess, from southwest Ontario and Canada, they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Petrolia, Sarnia, and western Lambton County here in southwest Ontario as well. So if you know you are watching from across the border, this is heading your way. And there's a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect there for winds of 100 kilometers per hour. But they do use the quarter-size hail for hail measurement. So sometimes they put like toonie-sized hail on there if it's in Canada, which is their equivalent of their 1-inch coin, I believe. Not quite sure on that, but it is relative in size. So, lots of heads-up warning for St. Clair County and over into Petrolia, Sarnia, and western Lambton counties over there in southwest Ontario for this line of storms. Again, with a history of producing severe winds or sub-severe winds between 45 and 60 miles per hour across Oakland County. Widespread tree damage has been recorded, and right now, if there's any tree damage ongoing, it's pretty much traveling right down the entire area between Division, so 33 Mile Road, all the way down through about 24 Mile Road. So it's a 9-mile swath of perhaps damaging wind moving across Macomb County right now, and again, New Haven and Richmond up next for those severe winds. We also have a new warning coming in right now, and this is going to be for Washtenaw County.
I'm a little surprised at that one. Looking on both DTX and DTW radars, I don't see much in the way that indicates strong winds yet.
Yeah.
But that core might come collapsing, and that could really enhance our winds here, which I assume they're anticipating to happen.
Yes. So besides the tiny little corner in northwest Washtenaw County, it's for the entirety of Washtenaw County until 4:45. And at 3:23, severe thunderstorms are located along this line extending from Hamburg to Dexter to Brooklyn, and it's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazard is 60 mile per wind gusts and quarter-size hail. It is radar indicated, and impacts are hail damage to vehicles, wind damage to roof siding and trees possible. This line of severe thunderstorms will be in Ann Arbor, Chelsea, Dexter, Manchester, and Whitmore Lake as early as 3:30. Also have Salem as early as 3:40, Dixboro as early as 3:50, and Ypsilanti as early as 4:05. Other locations impacted by this severe thunderstorm warning include Hudson Mills, Pittsfield Township, Whitaker, Hudson Mills, Metro Park, Bridgewater, Oakville, Delhi Mills, Pleasant Lake, Barton Hills, and Pinckney State Recreation Area. Once again, if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning with the 60 mile per hour winds and 1-inch hail, you should be taking shelter in the most interior room of your building, away from exterior walls where trees may come crashing in. So you can take your necessary safety precautions now if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, which is now in effect the latest one for Washtenaw County. So there are now 5 severe thunderstorm warnings and a couple of special weather statements in effect across southeast Michigan this afternoon. It's turning out to be quite the busy afternoon here with a lot of gusty winds and perhaps some smaller hail. Overall, just looking at the radar, it's not terribly impressive out there in terms of storm coverage, but for those who are living in Washtenaw, portions of Livingston, Oakland, and Macomb counties right now, you guys are in the thick of it, and so you do want to be taking shelter until this line kind of moves out of the area. Take note, you've kind of seen this already with Oakland County, for example. Storms are going to be training over the same area because the cold front is taking its grand old time moving through the state. And so storms are going to be training along that cold front until it slowly moves out later this afternoon and evening. So right now that cold front is pretty much located from, honestly, probably Lapeer, Flint, down to Mason and Battle Creek. I'd have to look at some of the surface ops behind the scenes to get an exact location on the cold front, but that is about where the cold front is at. So if you're to the west of that cold front, so pretty much from Kalamazoo to Lansing to Flint, points west, severe weather not really expected today. This cold front has moved through quickly overnight, but is slowing down here this afternoon. And a severe thunderstorm watch, not warning, but watch is in effect for southeast Michigan through 7 p.m. as conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to develop. That's essentially what a severe thunderstorm watch does mean.
I got the Ann Arbor cam pulled up here watching. Nothing yet, but we'll have a view of the Ann Arbor cell as it comes in, courtesy of Ace Aviation.
I also have a 4-panel behind the scenes here of actually multiple storms kind of rolling through all of our cameras here. So obviously top left, that's your Dearborn cam. Storms haven't quite got there yet, but some impressive cumulonimbus clouds rolling into view. In the top right, you have the Storm Guard Roofing and Construction Cam in Lake Orion. That is showing a little bit of a whale's mouth feature there. There in the center of the screen, and that is going to be located right there. It just goes to show you that there's some turbulence in the air today, and of course this light gray area back here is all of your rain that's falling. Bottom right, you can see a nice little core of rain moving down, perhaps some hail as well in the Commerce Township region. Some lowerings there. That is not too ominous, of course. It just looks ominous, but it doesn't really mean much other than just some gusty winds. Again, that is courtesy of Allcom and Commerce Township. And our Highland cam, courtesy of Tony Sierra Highland Nissan, looking to the west as storms have pretty much moved through the Highland area at the current time. So we have a lot of different cams out there across Southeast Michigan today, courtesy of many of our camera sponsors. So going back to our wind radar to show you guys an update on the wind. Again, if you're in any one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, you should be taking shelter and waiting until these storms do pass. Main core of wind right now still between that 33-mile and 24-mile road areas of Macomb County, about to enter New Haven, or already has. In fact, it's already up towards Richmond area and about to enter St. Clair County, the front periphery of this. Also Memphis getting grazed, and Armada as well. Back to the west, we still have a line of gusty, sometimes severe thunderstorms rolling through Oakland County, pretty much traveling right down M59 into Waterford once again. That is this cell right here. If we head down to the Novi area, some weaker winds, but still winds nonetheless between Wixom and Novi, traveling right down 96. About to cross into the area of M5. New severe thunderstorm warning once again in effect for this cluster of cells that is passing through Washtenaw County. At the current time, unless you're seeing something different on the DTW radar, I'm not seeing a whole lot in terms of severe winds according to our velocity data. But again, surface information matters the most. So if you guys have severe winds at your location, let us know as soon as possible, and we'll get those reports sent over to the National Weather Service in Detroit as soon as we can.
One thing to note, the Mirestone Ranch camera is showing offline for me. There's actually 47 customers out of power in Washtenaw County.
Would that be in Chelsea?
That would be Chelsea.
The severe thunderstorm warning, which was for the cell in Macomb County, has left Oakland County, has allowed the Oakland County storm. It's run out of time essentially, so this warning has automatically expired at 3:30 p.m. We'll have to see if they add a new statement here shortly, because there is still some gusty winds passing right into the Waterford area very soon, very close to the radar site, as you can see here on the brighter greens. Those pixels are showing up at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, so definitely statement worthy. Anything over 30 but below 60 is a statement worthy for strong winds. But again, severe thunderstorm warning has ran out of time here for Oakland County, courtesy because of that storm that was is now in Macomb County that was previously in Oakland County. Severe thunderstorm warning for Livingston County, Brighton and Pinckney areas still in effect for 13 more minutes. Would expect this to also be removed very soon, as it looks like it's just your typical thunderstorm rolling through there as well at the current time. So we'll see. They might issue some statements here in just a few minutes, but it looks like nothing severe at the current time for Oakland. Still strong winds, of course, don't get me wrong, but severe winds of 60 plus are not currently showing up on radar. Different though, if you are in Macomb County at 1,900 feet off the ground, Ryan, we're getting reports of 76 mile per hour winds. Again, if that's gusting to the ground at all, that would be considerable levels of severe warning. That would be, again, 70 plus is when a considerable severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. Again, as this moves away from the radar site, you can see the colors are just getting brighter and brighter, and that could be because the beam once more is pointing up further and further into the storm, so it's reading winds that might be a little bit elevated. So if you guys are down here in the Richmond, New Haven area, let us know. Specifically right now in the Pass Chalk Road area in Division, also near Welding Road and Custer Road with a K. That is, again, just outside of Richmond on the west side, or just downtown Richmond in general. Let us know what you guys are seeing in terms of winds, what you're estimating, and if you guys have any damage. That'll help us and, of course, the National Weather Service kind of give more warning downstream here for anything that may be moving into St. Clair County. See in chat, it is really bad, super high winds and hail in New Haven right now. Thank you for that. Again, here's your velocity radar loop where we're looking at the reds changing over to those oranges and yellows. That is your severe wind, and it is making a beeline right into downtown Richmond at the current time. And this is primarily the only storm that we're watching out there that is obviously going to be gusting to 60. If we're looking back to the south near Washtenaw and portions of Livingston County, not really much going on at the current time in terms of your brighter greens. If we did see brighter greens changing to the blues like we saw earlier with the cell that was up in the Brighton area, that would be severe wind of perhaps 60 plus. But again, not really seeing that at the current time. It's just a Macomb County and eventually about to be a St. Clair County issue for those 60 mile per hour winds and perhaps, of course, 1-inch hail. Report of 1.05-inch hail in Dexter. If you have a report, Owen, they would like to send over to us, please feel free to do so. Direct message that to us on our messenger, or drop it in our Discord channel, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. Whatever way you can get it over to us. Again, if you post it in the stream here, we won't be able to see it. But again, that way we can relay that over to the National Weather Service in Detroit for an official LSR.
I got a quick question here, unrelated. Anybody on YouTube having issues with the stream, like freezing or replaying the last 5 seconds? I'm seeing some messages from you guys saying that it's happening. It's happened yesterday as well, and it's only on YouTube browser, from what I understand. So if you guys are having issues watching on YouTube browser, I would recommend either getting the app or hopping over to Twitch, Facebook, X, or TikTok and watch us on one of those platforms.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's going on with it, but it happened yesterday, and now people are saying it's happening again.
Yeah, I did see that happening yesterday where it was like glitching our voice out, and it looked really weird when I was watching it back. So, yeah, it looks like it's a browser issue because I do have the browser open actually on a separate monitor here, and it's sometimes doing that still. So feel free to try the YouTube app. Otherwise, as Ryan mentioned, again, we're live on 5 different platforms for those who didn't know. Again, it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, X, or TikTok now. And again, our username on all of those platforms is @MIStormChasers. So if you ever, at any point, have issues with our streams, you can go ahead and check it out on a different stream. This is why we do it the way we do, where we stream on multiple platforms at the exact same time, because sometimes Facebook goes down and we have to stream on the other 4 platforms, where YouTube has this glitchy issue. So again, it's out of our control, but again, hop over to a different platform. Again, Facebook, Twitch TV, X, or TikTok if it is not working properly on YouTube for you guys. Again, once again, our username on all of those accounts, MIStormChasers, all one word, all lowercase. Or if you just type in Michigan Storm Chasers, you should find us pretty easily. But again, right now we are tracking severe thunderstorms across southeast Michigan. The gustiest of the winds right now in St. Clair and Macomb County, as where these severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. Just about to hop over the border, heading into St. Clair County right now as we speak, directly over downtown Richmond. If we go back to the Washtenaw County area, in terms of wind here, again, still not seeing the bright greens that we would need for those severe winds. Still some decent pockets of rain, and of course, maybe some light hail moving through. But again, the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for both 60 mile per hour winds and 1-inch hail. So again, if that report of 1-inch hail is true from Dexter, then that would be heading up into South Lyon and Warden at the current time. But I am not seeing anything on our correlation coefficient radar which depicts non-uniform objects tumbling around the atmosphere. VIL does have it though. There's your pocket for hail. It's not the strongest by any means, but would not be surprised if there's a couple isolated larger hailstones in there today. There's pretty steep lapse rates across southeast Michigan in some cases, especially with how hot it is down there at the surface. I know, Orion, you're down there in southeast Michigan. I know it's what, probably like 86 degrees outside there right now?
Let me take a peek at my weather station. It is 85 degrees with a 72-degree dew point.
Yeah. A taste of summer.
Indeed.
Looks like a new hail core starting to develop right now in the vicinity. I'm going to switch through all our radars here. Yeah, there's a new hail core popping up directly on Mayor Road at Trumbull Lane. And that is just crossing over I-94 at the current time. It's going to continue down Trumbull Road towards downtown St. Clair. Again, if we'll switch it back to our base reflectivity radar here. Anytime we see these reds change to pinks and sometimes lighter grays and blacks on radar, that is where we see some of our larger and largest raindrops. And again, the larger the raindrop, often the easier it is to become super cooled and turn into hail, especially if it's infected up there in the levels of the atmosphere where it's below 32 degrees, especially below 20 degrees, just a couple miles above our heads right now. So steep lapse rates out there today, and that's going to cause some of these hailstones to make it up to 1 inch in diameter. Once again, it's heading down Trumbull Road towards downtown St. Clair. And if it does wobble off to the north, south side of Marysville as well. So that 94 corridor from St. Clair to Marysville is what's being impacted by the wind and perhaps now hail here in south central St. Clair County.
The Livingston County warning has officially expired.
Okay. Also getting a lot of reports in chat here of gusty winds still continuing in the Oakland County area. Again, I'm not surprised at all by this. Again, we're still seeing some pockets of wind in here. Not what we're seeing earlier with the 60 mile per hour, but there's definitely some pixels in here of 40 to 45, maybe upwards of 50, all across the Pontiac region and surrounding areas. Again, over towards Rochester Hills, Bloomfield Hills. Again, that would be statement worthy at the very least, but at the current time, the National Weather Service has not issued a special weather statement for this line as it continues in. There's another cell moving in the south line area as well. That was the one that may be producing 1 inch hail in Dexter. If that is still true, of course, that would result in probably a severe thunderstorm warning incoming for southeastern Oakland County. We'll see, though, what the National Weather Service has in store, if they just leave it be, or if they do decide to issue a statement or a warning. Again, if you are in southern and eastern Oakland County right now, you should be on alert for some gusty winds and some small hail. Just as of abundance of caution right now. Again, no severe warning in effect, but you should still take that information as needed if you are in the line of fire for these line of storms. There's like 4 different cells out there right now. South Lyon, you have the Oak Orchard Lake Village area, you have one in downtown Pontiac, and you have a 4th one in Rochester and Rochester Hills, which has been battered by some of these cells already today, this afternoon. Again, we've been live for an hour and 14 minutes, and I believe Rochester Hills has already had 2 separate storms, and now they're going on to their 3rd.
The severe warning for Washtenaw continues. It's going to be dropped from 1 inch hail down to penny-sized hail or less.
Yeah.
Continues for 60 mile per hour winds. Again, looking at the radar, I mean, there's a pocket of some wind now. It's picking up between Scio Township and Freedom Township. It's going to be just south of Scio Church Road and a crossroad there of Parker. So that's going to be a little bit gustier there. But still, the highest I'm getting is 45 miles per hour, so it's still 15 miles per hour below severe limits, 13 miles per hour to be exact. It is intensifying just a bit.
Gotcha. That's this whole line of cells that is still in the severe thunderstorm warning. So it could be any one of these cells right now. And again, we still have more cells moving in from Hillsdale and Lenawee County that are not warned or statemented. Those could pose an issue later on, but at the current time, they are not an issue, and no statements are in effect there. Wind right now in St. Clair County is directly on Kendall Road at Palms and traveling right down Rattle Run Road. And again, if there's hail out there as well, that is closer to the St. Clair area near Hurst Road and Yankee Road. So pretty much heading right into downtown St. Clair. It looks like some smaller hail, perhaps as large as 1 inch as the warning says, but the core appears to be collapsing down right now to smaller hail sizes. Ryan Chat would like to let you know that it is SIO instead of SKYO for the township, unless you've heard differently.
I have lived here my entire life.
I say you're the east side of the state guy, so. Here comes a new little downburst right now, just to the south of New Hudson and Wixom. That is in Oakland County. That wind right now is about 35 to 40, and that is going to be on Haas Road at 12 Mile Road. So that's going to be crossing over 96 very shortly. You can see in the last 2 scans, if I rocket back and forth here, you can see the medium greens change to brighter greens, and there you go. Oakland County, you finally got a statement back. New statement coming in right now for portions of Oakland County, and as mentioned, it's going to be the southern and eastern half of Oakland County. They're going to go 50 mile per hour wind max and half-inch hail with this line of storms. So that does include the storm in New Hudson, the storm in the Bloomfield Hills area, and the storm in the Rochester Hills area. So it's a whole cluster, as in southern and eastern Oakland County.
Up to 50 mile per hour winds now showing up near Scioto Church Road in Lodi Township.
Are you on the terminal Doppler?
Yes, I am. Would you like me to
Okay.
share my screen?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I'm using DTX. I was like, I'm not seeing that. Actually, pause real quick. There's your downburst, as mentioned here, starting to downburst out. I mentioned in 3 scans it went from dark green to light green, and now we start to see some cyan pixels popping up. That would be 50 mile per hour winds right there on 12 Mile and Johns Road, about to cross over 96 in Grand River. The north-south road up next for this downburst right now is South Wixom Road, about 3/4 of a mile outside of downtown Wixom. And once more, this is heading towards our Walled Lake area, towards our Walled Lake cameras with time. So just another cell impacting the Commerce Township area north of Novi, almost a tongue twister there. Again, that is going to be 50 mile per hour winds possible, and maybe a short fuse severe thunderstorm warning incoming once again for southern Oakland County if this continues to grow upscale nature and show more downburst winds. I'll go switch over to you now if you have the wind there.
I do. Looking at this pocket of wind now, looks like it's weakened just a bit back to 40-ish miles per hour. But animating it, you're going to notice it's heading right into Ann Arbor. So if you live in downtown Ann Arbor, probably some gusty winds heading in. It is not currently severe, but it may be intensifying or could intensify further. If it does so, it will be close to severe criteria. So be mindful of that. If it does strengthen, you'll have to keep an eye out for some gusty winds there in downtown Ann Arbor. This is going to pass very closely to our Ace Aviation cam in the south side of Ann Arbor.
I'll try and pull that up behind the scenes as well.
I'm on it right now. Nothing yet, but
Okay,
maybe soon.
gotcha.
If you want to take the Allcom cam,
There you go.
and there's your new warning.
Good call.
Indeed. We do it a lot here.
Pat myself on the back for that one. Not often I get to do that, but here comes a new severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to be for your downburst in the Wixom area, I would imagine. Very, very shortly. Waiting for that box to pop in. I'm guessing you got that graphic there, Ryan.
Of course I do.
Once it pops in.
Oh, it's there. It's already up.
Oh, perfect. Again, if you guys would like the physical graphics for these warnings as they pop in, again, we're over on Facebook right now posting all of those graphics. So Facebook is just type in Michigan Storm Chasers. We have 800,000 followers over there on Facebook right now. Again, I think we just surpassed 800,000 this afternoon. So appreciate you guys for our support over on Facebook. We're on the road to 1 million over there.
Joel, I don't want to interrupt you, but we're at 799,961. We're 39 followers away from 800,000.
Very close then.
So if you don't follow us, be one of the ones who hit it. Help us hit 800,000.
There you go. So the new information for this severe thunderstorm warning says the National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Oakland County. Again, it's in this orange box. It does not include Ortonville or Oxford, but it does include the rest of southern and eastern. This is in effect till 4:45 p.m. At 3:47, a severe thunderstorm was located near Novi, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So rather quickly. And the hazards with this are 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. It is radar indicated, and as always, the impacts are going to be hail damage to vehicles and wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Severe thunderstorm will be near Southfield, Pontiac, Novi, Birmingham, West Bloomfield as early as 3:50. It's a little conservative there. Again, this storm is all the way back here in Wixom right now. Troy or Royal Oak as early as 3:55, Rochester as early as 4 o'clock. Also in the severe thunderstorm warning include Franklin, Keego Harbor, Waterford, Orchard Lake, Commerce. We also have Lather Village, Auburn Hills, Bingham Farms, Lake Angeles, and Farmington Hills. For protection, move to interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building if possible. Avoid windows and exterior walls of your house that trees may come crashing through. Again, this is some downburst winds right now of upwards of 60 miles per hour between Novi and Wixom. And again, let us know what you guys are seeing in the area in terms of wind damage or hail if it is indeed falling. Commerce Cam is all gray skies right now.
The Ann Arbor cam at Ace Aviation is starting to get dark.
Yes,
I believe I'm sharing my radar still though.
Yes.
But we can do this. Go ahead and take me, Joel. I'll go and talk about this. So the downburst here in Ann Arbor did gust out, and it's more so just 30 to 35 mile per hour winds showing up here. So that did weaken as it moved into town. And I can go ahead and switch my camera over to the Ace Aviation cam in 2 seconds. Bam, there it is. And that is courtesy of Ace Aviation in South Ann Arbor. Just facing south. And to the right of your screen is the leading edge of that storm as it's pushing in to the area.
Yes, that is at the airport there on the south side of Ann Arbor, if you're curious. That is the runway right down there at the southern end of the screen. So would imagine probably a good idea for a ground stop right now. Wouldn't want to be taking off in that sort of weather, especially if you have downburst winds. So if you're in Ann Arbor right now, prepare accordingly for perhaps severe winds up to 60 miles per hour. The severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. Velocity data, as Ryan was mentioning, is showing that it is gusting out right now below 60 miles per hour.
Got some cells to watch back in Lenawee County now.
Yep.
That's been popping up. One near the Tipton, Sand Lake area heading in toward Clinton. Maybe Tecumseh as well. Also have one popping up near Hudson, moving up toward Adrian. Those currently do not look concerning on radar, but as many cells have done today, they could produce gusty winds once they hit mature stages. I think the strongest storm we're still looking at is over in St. Clair County, Joel, near Port Huron and St. Clair areas.
Yep.
Nothing else catches my eye currently across Oakland, Macomb, or even Washtenaw County. Yet, at least.
That north split cell, by the way, that was statemented for portions of northwestern St. Clair counties all the way up here in the Lakeport and Lexington Heights region. That storm is not technically severe warned because it's a different cell, but it is in the severe thunderstorm warning box. If you guys happen to have gusty winds and large hail in the Lexington Heights and Lakeport area there as the storm moves on to Lake Huron very soon, let us know, and we'll also send those reports over. Right now it would be in the Wellman Line Road area near Babcock Road. So also in that vicinity will be the Crosswell Road region. Again, that is right on the edge of St. Clair and Sanilac counties in southeastern Michigan. Rain also starting to pour down there at the Ann Arbor camera. You were not
back
on the camera. There we go.
It is now.
So there's their there's their front edge of the storms there. Again, that is likely the backside of the shelf cloud that would be developing in the region. That is for Ann Arbor. South side of Ann Arbor, by the way. And that's going to be heading right down 94 towards Ypsilanti and Rawsonville. Wondering if I need to update my storm motion vector here soon. 238 at 42 for the Oakland County cell. We'll do that just for time being. Storm relative velocity doesn't really show it that well. It's more of our base velocity. It's going to show it better today. And it looks like our downburst is in the process of finishing up in the Walled Lake area. Our Allcom cam is relatively quiet right now, and that is in Commerce Township. So that is a good sign there that storm may be on the out. A lot of damage reports coming in though, a lot of tree damage across Oakland and Livingston County so far today in terms of reports that have already been sent in, as well as gusts up to 50 miles per hour in central Oakland County with storms that moved through earlier. Again, we're looking for your damage reports. If you got any, feel free to send them our way via direct message. Again, please only use direct messenger or our messenger for those hail and wind reports. Please do not ask questions in our messenger. Again, that fills up our inbox and we aren't able to get all the reports in a timely manner. Also, we do have a community page on Facebook, Michigan Weather Reports. I had to remember it for a second. Michigan Weather Reports. It's always there for you guys who are on Facebook for submitting your damage reports, as always. And if you're not on Facebook or Messenger, feel free to hop over to our Discord server. That is discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. We have a thread in there for damage and survey. And so that would be where you would post all of your photos in relation to any damage you got. So feel free to utilize that as well. Additionally, of course, if you post your photos in any of one of our posts on any of our social media pages, we'll do our best to view it. Again, if you are posting pictures in our live stream here on Facebook, unfortunately, we will not be able to see them. Feel free to post those photos in a different thread besides the live stream. So keep that in mind if you do have damage reports to send our way. Honestly, our strongest storm right now is pretty much on the St. Clair River heading into southwest Ontario right now. Overall, looking at our convection, Ryan, it looks like this these cells that we were looking at earlier are a lot smaller in nature. Now, don't get me wrong, they still will pack a punch despite the fact that they're smaller now. We did have more impressive looking cells earlier this afternoon in terms of our base reflectivity. And again, that could still change with time, as we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in here for Wayne County. But right now, it's kind of just a medium sort of event here for this severe day here in southeastern Michigan.
Color me confused because we're getting reports from viewers and behind the scenes of 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts in Ann Arbor. We have no confirmation that there's severe weather occurring. Now, obviously, that can change in a hurry with downbursts.
Yeah.
So, but right now, though, I don't see it with Wayne County's warning.
Yeah, so here comes that new warning for Wayne County, issued by the National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac. Out of an abundance of caution, they've issued the severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County, primarily western and northern, until 5 p.m. This does include downtown Detroit. At 3:56, a severe thunderstorm was located over Livonia. So it's this cell right here in the Plymouth and Livonia area that they are warning it for. And it is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is upwards of 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. And the severe thunderstorm will be near Livonia and Dearborn within the next 2 minutes if it isn't already. Other locations impacted by the severe thunderstorm include Inkster, Highland Park, Melvindale, Redford, Plymouth, Sumter Township, New Boston, Garden City, Northeast Detroit, and Wayne. Protection moved to interior on the lowest floor of the building. It is warned for this cell here in Livonia, which, again, not all that impressive on radar at the current time in terms of our velocity. But again, if you guys have ground truth to report to us, that is very important to kind of continue this warning.
Hey, take a look at the Clinton cell in northern Lenawee County. I'm getting some gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour now. It's also got a little bit of a hook on it. I need to watch that a little more carefully, but more so the wind with that. On the TTW radar, it's a little bit more defined.
I am on that.
Okay. Yeah, it's 42 miles per hour heading into Clinton. The camera I have pulled up is pointed at the storm. You're not going to see it, but it is in the horizon. It's just facing Clinton from Britain.
Yeah. That camera, by the way, is 1 minute into the future.
How on earth?
It says 4 o'clock and 30
earth?
Seconds up there. And meanwhile, we're still about 20 seconds away from 4 o'clock. Yeah. I just noticed that out of randomness because I was looking up that way for the clouds.
I have never seen that on one of our cameras before. That is a first.
No.
That's crazy.
Yes, current time down there at the bottom right side of the screen. Not to be confused with the camera that is 1 minute into the future. Current time is now officially 4 o'clock here on May 19th. Again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzmel alongside Ryan, President of Operations, who's below me there on the screen. Again, we're watching a couple severe thunderstorms rolling through southeast Michigan this afternoon as a quick reset. And we are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch TV, X, and TikTok at the username MI Storm Chasers. So if one platform is glitching for you for whatever reason, cough, cough, YouTube, let us know. And of course, feel free to watch us on one of those other platforms that we just mentioned. This is why we do it on multiple platforms at the same time, because sometimes technology issues do arise. So again, we're there, live streaming on all these platforms today. Current time, of course, 4 o'clock. Looks like we're downbursting again in the Dixboro area, right near Cherry Hill Road and Frains Lake Road. That is just to the north of Ypsilanti, and there's your outbound winds right now with that. According to the DTW radar, that would be again Cherry Hill. So just outside of Ann Arbor as it passed through, it's now downbursting again, heading down Cherry Hill Road. Again, that is M153 as well, heading towards Cherry Hill and Canton. In terms of Livonia, though, again, that storm, it's there, it's existing. It's just not really seeing the 60 mile per hour winds or the 1 inch hail that the warning is actually in effect for here for Wayne County. So for whatever reason, there's a warning there. And if you're hearing sirens, again, that is Wayne County's policy. Wayne County sometimes turns on their sirens for every single severe warning that they get their way. Again, they're called outdoor warning sirens for a reason. Number one, you're not supposed to hear them indoors. If you hear them indoors, congrats, that's an extra source of warning, but they're only for outdoor use. Number two, outdoor warning sirens means that they're used for more than just tornadoes in some cases. They are also issued for severe thunderstorm warnings, and that is, I believe, the policy now for Wayne County. So yes, once again, they're called outdoor warning sirens, not tornado sirens. But this storm is going right down 5 mile, 6 mile, and 7 mile road here in the Redford and Livonia area. If at all. Again, not really concerned with this one unless it starts producing those downburst winds like it did with some of these other storms this afternoon. For example, the one that is heading towards Cherry Hill right now is downbursting, so winds spreading out and down in all directions. Again, that's on Prospect Street, going right down Cherry Hill Road at the current time, about 3 miles north of Ypsilanti. And some of those winds could be felt down into downtown Ypsilanti if the winds do continue to gust out in an outward motion. Go back up and use the other radar in the White Lake area.
Got some gusty winds in Birmingham as well. Take a peek at that.
Yep. So this pocket of brighter reds here, just in the Birmingham area, Beverly Hills, Clawson, and Bloomfield Hills. Pixels here of 45 to 47 miles per hour, directly in the area of Big Beaver Road at Adams Road. So Big Beaver at Adams in the Newgate Drive neighborhood. So pretty much right in downtown Birmingham here and the Bloomfield Hills area. That is actually just ahead of the main batch of precipitation. So kind of similar to yesterday in some cases. We're seeing that wind arrive before the precipitation, just a little bit. At least, Ryan, that's what I'm seeing here on velocity radar, where it's slightly shifted to the east of the precipitation. So. Again, if you're hearing sirens for whatever reason, those are your outdoor warning sirens. Also, Macomb County, your severe thunderstorm warning has been expired. You're no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. May see an extension soon for the wind coming in from the Birmingham area, so still be on alert. Again, southern Macomb County, you were in that warning previously. You didn't get the wind or the rain that was expected. However, we do have that second cell riding right down that outflow boundary that will be moving in towards the Mount Clemens and Warren and Fraser areas with time. So be on alert there. Again, no severe thunderstorm warnings still now for Macomb County, but new one may be issued soon. Again, if you're hearing sirens, as I mentioned here, there are no tornado warnings, in fact, absolutely none. Again, this is because the sirens are sometimes sounded for severe thunderstorm warnings, and that is what appears to be the case right now in portions of northern Wayne County. The hazard for these severe thunderstorm warnings that you see right now in Washtenaw, Wayne, and Oakland counties, anywhere you see the orange boxes, those are where the severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. It is 60 mile per hour winds, that's 60 at max, and potentially 1 inch hail. Although today, I don't know, Ryan, if you've seen any damage reports come in of 1 inch hail yet. Okay, you haven't, so we have not seen any confirmation of 1 inch hail yet. But with some of these downbursts, some of that hail that is tumbling around the upper levels of the atmosphere can come down, not melt, and fall as 1 inch hail.
Behind the scenes report that we have coming in Waterford, we have poles and wires down. Just FYI.
What time was that as of?
I am not aware.
Okay. So Waterford's been hit 2 or 3 times already this afternoon with those training storms.
Yes.
Also, we're getting reports of sirens down in the Southgate and Downriver area, which are not even in that severe thunderstorm warning box.
It's the entire county.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're in Southgate, Riverview, Trenton, Wyandotte, River Rouge, you guys are not even in that severe thunderstorm warning polygon. You can see it's this tortilla-shaped looking orange polygon that covers most of Wayne County, but if you're in southeastern Wayne County, that orange box does not include you guys, so you're not technically in a severe thunderstorm warning. It's a good reminder, as always, that the National Weather Service, when they issue these warning polygons, they can sometimes be for fractions of counties. You may still get the alerts on your phone, you still may hear the sirens, but the official publication from the National Weather Service are sometimes often fractions of counties, like we're showing you right now on our official radar. This stream also is in 1080p quality, so if you're having issues viewing this stream, that is going to be on your end with any of your internet. Again, we have 0 dropped frames on our side, so feel free.
Also, just for reference. If you're on YouTube,
Yes.
if you click the screen in the top right, there's a settings icon. You click that, you can change the quality on YouTube. A lot of you guys may default to 360p. You can click that and update that to 1080p at the highest resolution. That will get your stream quality much, much better.
Yep. So right now we're showing you guys the reflectivity radar. Again, these reds and these pinks you see on radar are where the heaviest of the cores are at in terms of heavy rain. Sometimes some small hail mixing in, and the blues and the greens are going to be your lighter rain. And often where you see the heavier cores are where your severe thunderstorms are going to be, but we need to look at some of our other radar products to do so. So when we do, we switch it over to our velocity radar for the wind. That's what we're showing you guys now here on radar with the reds and the greens. The difference here is anywhere where the reds are at on radar, that's going to be your outbound winds from the radar site. So the radar we're using right now is in White Lake, and so all winds heading away from White Lake are in red. Anything green is winds kind of heading towards the White Lake area. So keep that in mind when you're looking at velocity radar going into the future. That is what we're showing you guys right now in terms of the gustiest of the winds. And when the red changes over to yellows or the greens change over to blues, that is where you have your gustiest of winds. It does appear like we're getting another downburst right now, once more on the Cherry Hill Road area and M153 near Gottfredson Road and south of Warren Road. So that is about 4.5 miles southwest of Plymouth or 2 miles to the east of Dixboro. Again, heading towards the Cherry Hill area in Canton. Again, they issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the cell that is primarily in the Livonia area, but probably a good idea to kind of stay on alert for some more downburst winds in the Cherry Hill area heading up towards Canton and Plymouth, and eventually into the vicinity of Westland and Livonia within the next probably 15 or so minutes. A good reminder there, again, if there was a tornado warning in effect, that would be higher than a severe thunderstorm warning. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice it says highest active alert. Again, right now, the highest active alert in the state of Michigan is a severe thunderstorm warning. And just as a little tidbit of information, you also see down there at the very bottom of the screen all active alerts in the state of Michigan. You've also probably noticed that, yes, there is a freeze watch in effect tonight for portions of northern Michigan. And so that is a sign that this cold front is coming through, and temperatures will drop in parts of the states down into the 30s and 20s overnight, especially up to the north of US 10. So again, it's going to be cold overnight tonight. Good idea to potentially cover your plants out of an abundance of caution, especially if you are north of US 10. GR2 is once again computer generating a 1-inch hail marker for the cell. This one is going to be near Cherry Hill again, but at the current time the hail core on this is very small and insignificant, I will call it, for some hail. But again, would not be surprised if suddenly some hail started falling with this. Just let us know again if you're on the Cherry Hill and Sheldon area what you guys are seeing in terms of hail, and of course, as always, wind. Right now we have not gotten any damage reports, I don't believe, from Washtenaw or Wayne County yet. So again, it appears to be not really gusting to the ground or the hail making it to the ground completely as severe limits, which is 60-mile-per-hour winds and or 1-inch hail. Just the downburst. Hanford Road at North Ridge Road. I'll turn up Ryan's volume a little bit.
I am muted, but I was not talking.
Gotcha. Now the triangle is that indicator, by the way, of perhaps 1-inch hail. We are looking for reds and greens close together on radar for rotation. Now, here's the thing though. Reds and greens can still be close together on radar. It just depends on what side of the storm they're on. So in this case, Because the red is on the east side of the storm and the green is on the west side of the storm, with the radar located to the north, again, that is more of, technically in this case, would be clockwise rotation, which, as a reminder, things in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise. So this is more an example of winds spreading down and out in all directions from the radar site. So you can still have reds and greens in close proximity, but you have to make sure that they're not rotating counterclockwise, because if they're not rotating counterclockwise, it's likely a downburst instead of rotation. So in this case right here, you can see in Cherry Hill, there are reds and greens close together right now, but the side of the storm that the red and green is on shows you that this is more of a downburst, so those winds are spreading out and down in all directions. So straight line wind damage possible right now in the Cherry Hill and Canton area, just about 2 miles north of Sheldon. So a good idea if you are in the Plymouth, Westland, Livonia area to kind of take shelter and wait it out. We also have a new statement coming in from Macomb County, and this statement is going to be in effect till 5:15 p.m. This is going to be for 50-mile-per-hour winds and no hail expected for most of Macomb County. There's a tiny sliver of Macomb County, which is up here north of Romeo, that is not in that special weather statement, but other than that, it's from Romeo to Armada to Memphis and points south is for that special weather statement. So we have a line of training storms. So right now you may be getting a storm in Mount Clemens, New Baltimore, New Haven. But here comes your secondary storm from Macomb County of Utica, Sterling Heights, Katy, Fraser, Warren. The storm is in Oakland County, is now heading your way, and it does appear like it is downbursting out in 50 miles per hour. This is going to be on 12 Mile Road at the intersection of 12 Mile and Ryan Road. Hey Ryan, you got a road named after you there. And also Metropolitan Parkway, and that is at the intersection of Metropolitan and Mound Road. So Sterling Heights, for example, here is going to be in the primary focal point for this wind. Again, there's your core of rain, the hotter colors showing your heavier downpours. So even if you aren't getting severe wind, again, heavy downpours, frequent cloud to ground lightning also possible in southwestern Macomb County at the current time. So all in all, there's about 8 or 10 cells here. We got one in St. Clair, we have one that is in the New Baltimore area, one that's attached to it in the Mount Clemens area, 2 cells that are kind of hand in hand here in the Sterling Heights, Royal Oak, and Southfield area, another cell that is in northwestern Wayne County. This is entering Sheldon, Westland, Livonia, Plymouth, cell down here in Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor, cell down here in Saline, and a couple cells that are still trying to get their act together for the Tecumseh region north of Adrian. Also have one tiny little rain shower that's popping up in the Blissfield area that is not of concern right now on Stadler Road. And again, we're watching more development off to the southwest. At the current time, that has not happened yet for portions of Lenawee and Monroe County.
Very nice core on the Wayne County cell.
Yep.
Very nice core on that.
You can see the cloud tops as well with our radar product here. That storm entering Wayne County right now has cloud tops upwards of, if I can hover it here, 44 to 45,000 feet. So pretty tall thunderstorm out there. Again, the taller the thunderstorm, usually the more severe it is. In fact, there's an update upwards of now 48,000 feet in Cherry Hill and Sheldon.
Yeah, and that the VIL on these, the Canton cell and also the Southfield cell is maxed out. Would not be shocked to see an upgrade to that warning to like perhaps ping pong ball or something like that. $50 size maybe.
Yeah.
So I restarted that camera with the time issue, and it did not fix it. So it's just stuck in the future. It's crazy.
Strange. So in terms of warnings out there right now, we have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. One for St. Clair, one for portions of Oakland that has been trimmed back a little bit, so Pontiac and Clarkston no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as White Lake. Does continue for the southeast corner. Also, we have Wayne County and portions of eastern Washtenaw County in a severe thunderstorm warning. Statement-wise, I have to look at our radar here behind the scenes. Oakland and Macomb counties also have statements in effect there. From some of our further away radar sites here, Ryan, that Livonia cell has an elevated meso on it, actually. So that is something to watch very closely. In fact, it is downbursting out once more, heading into downtown Livonia right now. So if you're in downtown Livonia, you should be taking shelter right now. There is your core of wind. It is directly over Newburgh Road at Plymouth Road. At the current time, about to cross over Levon Road and heading right into the region of just Livonia in general. But we have I-96 here just to the east of Plymouth. So be ready to get below ground if needed. If you are in the way of this storm, again, it's heading off to the east-northeast, about 45-ish miles per hour. Redford, Dearborn Heights, Inkster up next for this wind, perhaps large hail moving in. As Ryan was mentioning here, let's take a look at our VIL product, and there's quite the healthy core on that now as it heads in towards Westland and Livonia. Also up to the north, there's also core on that one too for Southfield.
I was going to say there's a nice pocket of wind, like you just mentioned, direct over Plymouth Road, heading up towards Stark, eventually toward Redford, just north of Livonia downtown. So yeah, that storm was really getting its act together there in northern Wayne County. A new warning coming in from Macomb County now as well.
Yep, and there's no surprise there. It's for most of Macomb County. The National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued this severe thunderstorm warning for Macomb until 5:15. At 4:18, severe thunderstorms are located from Sterling Heights to Warren to Detroit. So it's this storm here that we're looking at, circled by radar. It's moving east at 45 miles per hour. Hazards are 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. It is radar indicated. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Wind damage to roofs and trees also possible. So once again, this is Macomb County now, new severe thunderstorm warning. Warren, St. Clair Shores, Mount Clemens, Clinton Township, and Macomb Township as early as 4:25. New Baltimore as early as 4:30. Other locations in this severe thunderstorm warning include Roseville, Shelby Township, Ray Center, Fraser, Utica, East Point, Washington, New Haven, Stony Creek Metro Park, and Centerline. Again, when you have winds and hail moving through like this, you do want to be taking shelter in the lowest floor of a building.
I had the Dearborn cam pulled up for reference. I can see the leading edge of the shelf cloud on the left side of the screen moving in.
Oh, yeah.
This storm is actually going to pass very close to this camera. In fact, it's going to pass right in front of it. So we'll have a good look at it. That's for sure.
That's the Livonia cell, right? Off to the left, and then off to the
Yes.
right. Off to the
Yep.
right is our Ferndale Hazel Park storm.
Camera here is courtesy of Guardian Technologies.
It's actually a little bit of a lowering there in that storm.
It does.
Keep an eye on that for sure. Again, this is that storm we're looking at in Livonia and Redford, heading into the Wayne and Inkster area right now. And it's primarily going to be north of US 12 as it tracks into Dearborn Heights and Dearborn itself, as well as Redford. Again, that is where the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, so it's increasing its strength as it continues off to the east, and again, eventually heading towards downtown Dearborn and downtown Detroit.
Yeah, this is heading right for downtown Detroit, actually. Or just north of it, Hamtramck area. The DTW radar has a nice pocket directly over Livonia right now, crossing 96 of 53 miles per hour. Yep, new update. It did weaken just a bit, down to 49 miles per hour. Still over Livonia.
I'm assuming that's also from the DTW radar.
Yes.
Okay.
There's
Back,
two pockets actually. Sorry, go ahead.
as I say, back up to Fraser real quick. That pocket there that is now in Fraser could be upwards of 70-mile-per-hour winds at 1,600 feet off the ground. If that's mixing to the ground, that could be well over 60 miles per hour. Again, radar beam can only shoot so low into the atmosphere, and at this height it's 1,600 feet off the ground. So if you're in Fraser, again, we're seeing 71-mile-per-hour winds at 1,600 feet above your head. There's not much wiggle room for that to mix down to the ground and stay suspended in the air. So take this very seriously if you're in the Fraser area. Again, this is heading over to the east, directly down 14 Mile Road, heading up towards I-94. Also, the area of Gratiot Avenue and M97 south of Metropolitan Parkway at the current time. So Katy, Fraser, St. Clair Shores, St. Clair Haven kind of in the line of fire for this pretty decent looking downburst in the Sterling Heights, Katy, Fraser area. If you're up to the north, it looks like for the most part Shelby, New Haven, and surrounding areas north are going to be kind of skimmed by this wind and perhaps hail. So you guys should be good up there. Still want to be watching out for any northward movement just in case. But the main concern right now is the Fraser, Mount Clemens, St. Clair Shores, St. Clair Haven area for perhaps 60-mile-per-hour winds or higher.
I don't want to take away from that because this is not as strong, but Tecumseh as well, getting some gusty winds, upwards of 45 miles per hour on radar moving to Tecumseh there. But the Dearborn Cam as well has a very, very beautiful look here at this storm as it's rolling through Wayne County. The latest scans on the DTW radar for Livonia continue 50-mile-per-hour winds between Livonia and Redford areas. So Redford's on deck here. It's going to cross I-96. It's directly over Plymouth Road right now, and it will be crossing US 24, eventually M5 here shortly. I do want to switch really quickly to the Tecumseh cam.
That's fine.
It is actually pretty gusty, but it's not anywhere close to severe. This is at J-Bar Hobbies. Latest scan in Tecumseh actually has 44-mile-per-hour winds now.
You actually
So
see
pretty gusty there.
see the rain rolling off the roof there, right center side.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Doesn't look too bad. The trees are barely moving at least. Just a little gusty.
We're going to go back to our radar here real quick. We're watching 2 or 3 separate pockets of wind right now. In fact, number 4, I would say New Baltimore as well. Also seeing some of those severe winds. Again, what we're looking at on radar is their reds changing over to those yellows once more. Again, this is our velocity radar. So anytime you see these reds changing over to yellows, that's bright wind heading away from the radar site. Green would be winds heading towards the radar site. Brighter greens changing to blues would be the heavier wind there. And right now we're seeing a huge pocket of wind right now in the Fraser area, still going down 14 Mile Road, about to cross over Gratiot Avenue, tracking right into the First Hill Street region on Lipke Street, and also tracking into Quinn Road. So very quickly approaching Lake St. Clair, St. Clair Shores, and St. Clair Haven. Again, this is not what we want to see in terms of damaging winds, where their pixels here are showing up of 60 to 70 miles per hour at the current time. So again, you should be taking shelter if you're in southern Macomb County, primarily in the region between Mount Clemens and St. Clair Shores.
There's a plastic bag flying in the wind. It's just airborne. It's off camera now, but it was just like hanging out there from left to right. It was like blowing. It was crazy.
I think there's a Katy Perry song for that.
I know there is.
Do you ever feel
Stop
like
it.
a plastic bag drifting through the air or something like that? Again, I'm not much of a singer, but I do know Katy Perry, so.
Hey, Julie, if you're watching this, Dearborn Cam 426, about 30 seconds or so. If you want to go clip that, that'd be kind of funny. If you want to, of course. I don't know if Julie's in chat here or not.
Oh gosh. We've started something in chat that cannot be finished. Oh boy. Anyways, again, severe winds also heading through Redford, Dearborn Heights right now. Again, we see that with a plastic bag drifting through the air, according to the Dearborn cam. And at the current time, though, the winds haven't quite hit the Dearborn cam to the extent that they are looking severe. But the winds that are severe are going to be off to the north here in the northeast side of Detroit, or sorry, northwest side of Detroit, heading towards Highland Park and Hamtramck more likely. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Again, just to the east of Redford and Dearborn Heights now is that pocket of wind. Again, also watching the St. Clair Shore, St. Clair Haven area, and also up to the north, New Baltimore, Fairhaven, watching for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and perhaps some small hail as well as it moves into southern St. Clair County. So a multitude of severe thunderstorm warnings out there this afternoon. And the severe thunderstorm warning for Washtenaw County has been canceled, even though cells are still moving in through the Saline, Milan, Stony Creek, and Whitaker areas very soon, as well as up towards Ypsilanti as well. And that core now, I know you have all the cameras viewing here, Ryan. Where's that Dearborn cam at? There you go. Less ominous, but we're still watching the winds come in.
Yeah, latest couple scans off DTW continue the gusty winds well north of Dearborn. I don't expect them to be that strong here. The greatest winds are still showing about 50 miles per hour just past through Redford. In fact, a couple pixels now at 55 over the Burr Road and Grand River Road, about to cross M39. It's going to be heading up toward M10 into Ferndale, Highland Park, and Oak Park neighborhoods here shortly. We should be able to get a better look at this off of DTX now that we're getting closer to that radar.
Anything that
Not really.
The only thing DTX is picking up on is the 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, perhaps in the St. Clair Shore, St. Clair Haven area.
Dearborn now getting rain, and the wind is still gusty, but not overly strong.
Yeah.
So the leading edge of that was not very impressive.
We're now within a minute from St. Clair Haven, directly on Jefferson Avenue right now. Again, pretty much heading right down Metropolitan Parkway, entering St. Clair Haven right now. Huron Point Drive and Lakeshore Drive are also the main roads there along the lakeshore, getting impacted. Also, bits and pieces of gusty winds up towards the New Baltimore area. We're looking at M29 here at Perimeter Road. Also, more gusty winds up into the Fairhaven area, primarily over Shortcut Road, crossing over Palms Road and traveling down the Markle Road area, and the big east-west road of Arnold Road. Eventually tracking off towards Marine City and maybe close to St. Clair. Good news about St. Clair County, though, you guys have had a severe thunderstorm warning run out of time. May not be a good thing, though, if severe winds are still ongoing, so we would expect probably a severe thunderstorm warning to be issued, or I should say reissued soon for both of these cells, actually, as they roll into southern St. Clair counties. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings do have set times that they expire at. This one just expired at 4:30, and it does appear that severe winds are still continuing from a line south of Meisner Road, so that'd be Marine City and points south. And again, we're still watching this line of gusty winds moving out of Lake St. Clair that will be impacting probably the Fairhaven, Pearl Beach, and Algonac areas with time here in the next 10 to 15 minutes as well. So if you're also boating on Lake St. Clair right now, not a good time to be out there. These blue boxes you see on your screen are also special marine warnings. Those are for boaters. Essentially the equivalent of a severe thunderstorm warning for the waters. So Lake St. Clair, Detroit River, and up towards the St. Clair River as well. So if you're anywhere on any of those waterways right now, feel free to park your boat in safe harbor and wait until these storms pass to resume your boating activities. See a lot of reports coming in from Warren itself of wind, small hail, and that is not surprising given the reflectivity here showing some pinks mixing in with the reds. That would be a sign of perhaps some small hail falling. Vertically integrated liquid product shows you exactly where the center of these cores of potential hail would be, and that would be on 11 Mile Road, traveling right down I-696 at the current time. Again, Warren, Roseville area of this cell. Latest scan brings it off to the east-northeast, closer to the Fraser area, heading up towards Katy. So these storms are essentially training over the exact same area. Go ahead.
I can hear you okay through our streaming software here, but on stream you are very distant from your microphone. Check your source, make sure it's on the correct mic.
Well, in that case, I'll go to my wireless mic. I'm on my webcam mic right now.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, but coming through, it sounds like you're away from your microphone for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Also, Dearborn did get pretty gusty, not close to severe, but it's probably 30-mile-per-hour winds. If you guys have damage reports, feel free to let us know via direct message and Facebook, or drop a comment on our Facebook comment sections. We'd appreciate those. Tree damage, structure damage, hail reports. Let us know.
Check 1, 2. This is now the wireless mic. Should sound a little bit better now. When the severe started, the microphone, my wireless mic was still pretty low charge, so I started on my webcam mic. I have like 4 different mics here I could use on my computer, so sometimes I switch it around if one's still low on charge. Just some of our limitations of technology. Also, Ryan, you have a pretty decent view there of some convection trying to billow up in the Monroe County area. Classic looking cumulonimbus cloud there. Nice anvil on top. I know that location isn't correct, but that is in Monroe County looking to the south. Not in Britain.
Yeah, this is in the Dundee area at our east side office, facing to the south over the open fields. The wind is actually starting to pick up more so now than it has in Dearborn. It is probably between 30, 35-ish, maybe 40, but still well below severe limits. News couple scans here. St. Clair Shore is likely getting impacted here. Looks like all the way up toward the New Baltimore area. And as Joel's mentioning, St. Clair Haven, that's where the worst of the winds are. Also, check Marine City. Marine City has a nice big old gust moving in there as well. And then Algonac region here shortly.
Yeah, there's still 71 mile per hour pixels popping up in this vicinity here, heading towards Marine City. Yeah, there you go. There's your severe thunderstorm warning coming in for reissuing it for St. Clair County. As the other one expired at 4:30, they are now entering a new one in right now, and here it comes for southern St. Clair County. The National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued this severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30 p.m. Again, this is southern St. Clair County. At 4:35, severe thunderstorms were located along a line which extends from St. Clair to Algonac to St. Clair Shores, moving east at 45 miles per hour. It's multiple cells. Hazards are 60 mile per hour wind gusts only. Wind damage to roof, siding, and trees is possible. Severe thunderstorms will be near Algonac and Harson's Island as early as 4:40. Other locations impacted by this new severe thunderstorm warning include Anchorville, Pearl Beach, Adair, and Fairhaven. Also, St. Clair Marine City is also issued in this severe thunderstorm warning. For protection, move to an interior room away from exterior walls where trees may come through. Again, we're looking at velocity radar right now. Anytime these reds are changing over to the yellows, those are your pockets of gusty winds, often 60 to 70 miles per hour. Right now, most of the wind is on Lake St. Clair. So if you're out boating right now, definitely thinking of you guys out there, but you should be in safe harbor. You should have been in safe harbor probably 15 to 20 minutes ago when these statements and warnings were being issued. Right now, again, heading straight up towards Fairhaven and Pearl Beach with time. And again, on waters, the velocity can sometimes often pick up at the surface because there's not much stopping it out there. And so you could see some pretty decent gusts rolling into Fairhaven and Pearl Beach within the next 5 to 10 minutes here before slowing down when it gets on land. So again, 60 mile per hour winds are possible. We have this line of cells that is on Lake St. Clair. It was just previously impacting St. Clair Haven, skirting by New Baltimore, and Fairhaven, Pearl Beach up next, as well as the cell heading into Marine City. It's about 4 miles outside of Marine City, the heaviest of those winds. and they are continuing off to the east-northeast here, about to cross over, or are crossing over Marsh Road at Booth Road, and also crossing the big north-south road of King Road, which is about a half a mile outside of downtown Marine City. So multiple cells moving into St. Clair County. Also more wind and hail occurring down here in Fraser and St. Clair Shores. This wind up here, seeing some pixels of 50 to 55, primarily in the vicinity of Donaldson Street, and where Quinn Road kind of crosses I-94 here in the north side of St. Clair Shores. Also passing over Jefferson Avenue at the current time. So Roseville, St. Clair Shores, Fraser area getting some hail and some wind right now, according to radar data. Let us know what you guys, of course, are seeing in your neck of the woods in terms of wind damage or hail damage. And if you guys do have hail damage, it is possible today. If you have a way to measure the hailstones, please do so with a coin or some sort of sports ball, like a ping pong ball or a golf ball or something like that that you may have on you. Speaking of hail, we did have a confirmed report as of 2018 UTZ, which I believe is 4:18, so about 20 minutes ago here. 1-inch hail confirmed. Zooming in at the 7 Mile Road and Greater Grace Temple Boulevard, which is Schaefer Road here in the south side of Oak Park. Extreme northern Wayne County there. So again, if that is true, that would validate this severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail as it moves into Hamtramck and downtown Detroit.
Do you get the statement for Washtenaw or no?
I did not. I was busy covering the wind up there to the north.
So if you want to take a peek at DTW radar, latest scan did kind of weaken it out a little bit, but there is a pocket of gusty winds just north of Milan, moving in toward Augusta Charter Township near Lincoln and Willis, just probably south of Lincoln and Willis. The radar did depict 45 to 50 mile per hour gusts there, but like the latest scan did weaken it out closer to 35 to 40 now. So a little pocket there worth noting. But if you're down in Saline, up in this Ypsilanti downtown, you guys are fine. The gusty winds are further south in the county, closer to Wayne County and the northern part of Monroe County. These should stay north of Monroe County into Wayne, although I would say there are cells popping up now in Lenawee, just south of Britain, heading up toward our office here in Dundee that are starting to get their act together as well. So watch those carefully. On the cam there, you should see that move into the frame here shortly. Also got word there is a ground stop at DTW.
Makes sense. Hail in St. Clair Shores. Thank you guys for that report. That would make sense of what we're seeing on our DTX radar at the current time. Again, every time we switch between the DTX and the DTW radar, it zooms out, so we have to zoom back in. Also confirmed 60 mile per hour gusts with pea-sized hail estimated in Livonia as of 4:23 this afternoon. So this is quite the cell, quite the meso moving through Hamtramck right now. And in fact, Ryan, this hail core continues to impress in terms of what we're seeing in terms of base reflectivity. If there's a decent hail core right now, it's on Davison, which is M8, heading up towards Conant Avenue and McNichols Road. So again, right on the north side of Highland Park in Hamtramck, passing off to the east-northeast. And again, it's going to be heading towards East Point, Grosse Pointe Woods with time. And so we've already had a history of 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds with this storm. So this is quite the meso moving in to the area. And wow, that's quite the hail core, Ryan. Look at CC.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that storm right now, but I will here in a second.
So quite the correlation coefficient drop here. Again, this is I-75 at M8. Again, we're looking at correlation coefficient radar to figure out where exactly the precipitation is non-uniform in nature. And so anything that's uniform, like rain, there's your purples and your reds that are kind of surrounding it. Where it changes over to this yellow and kind of greenish hues right here in the Highland Park area, that's where you see the hail falling. So Highland Park, Hamtramck, decent hail core on this one. It is also showing up on our base reflectivity radar where the rain becomes so large that it is changing into these pinks and these dark grays that you see on radar. And some of those cases, those rain droplets that are showing up as pinks and dark grays on radar are probably about the size of your palm. And it doesn't take much for some of that rain to change over into hail, especially if it's up there in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So if I take a 3D scan of this storm, I can see where the hail core is at, and it is up at about 25,000 feet. So that's up there quite a ways, tumbling around in that freezing layer. So let us know what you guys are seeing in the Hamtramck area. Also, St. Clair Shores continuing to get hail reports behind the scenes and gusty winds. Also, primarily watching the gusty winds heading towards the isolated areas of the Middle Channel and South Channel Drive in southern St. Clair counties. Multiple reports of wind also coming in from the Pearl Beach and Algonac area as upwards towards Marine City, which is verifying as such here according to velocity radar, where you have reds changing over to these oranges and yellows. We are indeed live on YouTube. If you're still having issues, again, that's going to be on your end or on YouTube's end. Again, we are live on all 5 platforms right now, according to my sources behind the scenes, and I'm actually watching myself live on YouTube right now. So again, it's on your end if that is the issue. And it's a good reminder that we are live right now on 5 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch TV, X, and TikTok. And in fact, I'm going to plug Twitch TV real quick because Twitch TV is built for live streams, and I don't think there's any advertisements on that. It's actually a really nice platform to watch on. So again, Twitch TV, you can sign up for free and follow us over there at MI Storm Chasers. Again, only I think 2,000 people follow us on Twitch TV, so it's kind of a platform that isn't used often, but it is very well, or it works very well for those who are curious and maybe not using YouTube or Facebook. Looking at I'm still looking up here to the north at this wind in the Lake St. Clair area, and right now it's still Pearl Beach, Fairhaven. Most of this wind is still on Lake St. Clair, but would not be surprised if Algonac is starting to see it here soon. Also, some hail starting to pop up in the Algonac area, and it appears that this line is starting to strengthen even more and turning into kind of a line of transient supercells as they head off towards Southwest Ontario. So if you're watching from Southwest Ontario, I'd be on alert for perhaps a quick all hazards risk as this line of storms does move into Southwest Ontario. Again, tornadoes, very low threat of tornadoes today, but I'm starting to see what appears to be a line of transient supercells popping up and heading off into the Southwest Ontario area. A little bit of a hook on multiple of these cells right now, and well, at the current time, they're downbursting, so the winds are coming down and spreading out in all directions. That could change with time as we move into Southwest Ontario, so keep that in mind. We're just watching that very closely. It doesn't look like there's going to be a tornado risk for Michigan. But again, still a hail and wind risk at the current time. Decent hail core now showing up in the St. Clair Shores area, right on that Jefferson Avenue area, right along Lake St. Clair. Paintball-sized hail in St. Clair Shores. That's quite the measurement. I've seen paintballs before, and that would probably be around ½ an inch in diameter. So that's quite the measurement. Thank you for the report there in St. Clair Shores area. Also getting reports from multiple people here in stream and behind the scenes of sirens in downtown Detroit. Again, that is because there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. As a reminder, they are called outdoor warning sirens, not tornado sirens. So they can sometimes issue these sirens if and when severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. Wayne County's policy is, yes, they do issue those sirens for all severe thunderstorm warnings, stemming back since, I think, 2024 when we had that incident in Livonia. So that is the policy now for for Wayne County in general. And so anytime you hear sirens in Wayne County, it may not be a tornado warning. It may just be a severe thunderstorm warning like we're seeing right now. Gustiest of winds right now over Hamtramck, heading towards Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Farms, and Grosse Pointe Woods. It's kind of a wobbly line now. It's just kind of all attaching to each other here in the Dearborn area to Hamtramck up towards Grosse Pointe Park. This is going to continue into downtown Detroit within the next 10 or 12 minutes. Again, even if you're hearing the sirens and you're in the line of fire for these storms, you should still be taking it seriously. Again, we've seen it before where
damaging straight line winds can bring down just as many trees as tornadoes. So while a tornado may not be happening, again, you should still be taking shelter. Interior room, lowest floor of the building for these damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Could also have a little bit of wind-driven hail in there that may shatter some windows. And so you should be taking shelter in the interior room out of an abundance of caution, especially if you know you have, trees, for example, that are on the north and the west side, and maybe even the south side of the house that are very close to your house and that could fall through those exterior walls. Again, you know your property better than any of us here at MSC. So if you think your trees could be falling through your house, it's a good idea to stay away from that at the current time if you are in the line of fire for any of these severe thunderstorms. Nope, Ryan's feed is not frozen, y'all. It is live. The clouds are just starting to move into view there. I think they were talking about your live stream cam. That's still live as well. It's moving.
I actually had the Dundee cam pulled up from A&S Garage, looking right at the cell. For point of reference, our office is on the left side of this image, so we're just missing out here, which is why the camera is showing clear skies. Because if I turn it, you're going to see essentially what that top right camera is seeing. And there's a blue sky.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed for portions of Macomb County. Oakland County, you guys are now in the clear. The severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped for you guys. As for timing, the severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect until 5:30 for St. Clair County. Southern Macomb County in effect until 5:15. And Wayne County still in effect for 10 more minutes until 5 o'clock. May see a quick extension for Wayne County here soon if it does run out of time. We'll see if it's through Wayne County in the next 10 minutes, but we do have other cells trying to pop up down in the Romulus area. In fact, there is a little bit of a downburst trying to pop up over downtown Romulus right now. And again, at the airport where there is a ground stop near 94. And Vining Road here and Wick Road. So there's a little bit of a downburst there in that cell. It's not the largest of cells compared to what we're seeing off to the northeast. But again, those surprise 50-mile-per-hour gusts can and will bring down medium-sized tree branches and sometimes some old rotting trees as well. So if you're in any one of these orange boxes today, you are currently in the risk for those 60-mile-per-hour winds and perhaps even 1-inch hail like we've seen this afternoon in Livonia, confirmed via spotter. Well, it's actually closer to the Ferndale and Oak Park area, but Redford, Livonia also got impacted by that same storm. Ryan has left the chair. Wind radar, once again, here's the velocity radar again. All of our yellows right now in the Marine City area still kind of training over the same area. Algonac now getting impacted and more of our gusts down here to the south. Heading into South Channel Drive and Middle Channel Drive right now. Those are some pretty impressive winds on radar. Once again, wind speeds of perhaps 70 miles per hour, and this is 2,600 feet, so half a mile off the ground. Again, not a whole lot of wiggle room between 2,600 feet off the ground and at the surface. So if this is mixing to the ground, those winds are at severe criteria. Again, 60 mile per hour winds is severe. Anything below that is still strong winds. It's just not severe winds. So those are pretty much continuing towards Algonac and some of these rural portions out there south and southwest of Algonac itself. Again, Middle Channel Drive and South Channel Drive. Also Vokes or Vokies Road and State Highway M154. Getting reports that it's getting dark over on the west side of the state. Right now on radar on the west side of the state, I'm not going to pull my radar over there because there's nothing of concern, but there's a light pocket of rain moving into West Michigan right now. No thunderstorms associated. This pocket of rain moves all the way up towards northwest lower Michigan and the Straits of Mackinac into the Sault Ste. Marie area. So just a light pocket of rain kind of associated with that cold front, and you really start to see it cool down as that moves through the area. Back here to information on the southeast side of the state. Again, we do have the storms still rolling through. We'll take it down here close to the Riverview area and downriver, and we can actually see this line of storms moving in on our Riverview camera now. And this is courtesy of Electronic Tech Solutions. Small little shelf cloud there in the center right side of the screen. Not too impressive, but it is a sign that the storm is at least strong in nature and producing its own little base to it. And you can actually see tucked back there on the bottom, well, center side of the screen, excuse me, there over the house. Also a little bit of a base sticking out there. So could be some gusty winds moving into the downriver area very, very soon. And in fact, they went ahead and issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for these cells that are moving into the downriver area.
The entirety of Monroe County, minus the north half near Milan, is underneath that warning, myself included.
Go back to the radar here. We'll have the new warning box pop in. Oops, I accidentally switched it back. There we go. So it's kind of for this entire cluster of cells moving through. The National Weather Service to Detroit Pontiac has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Monroe County and southern Wayne County until 5:45 p.m. At 4:52, a cluster of severe thunderstorms, this is the exact wording here, was located along a line extending from Milan to Carlton to Luna Pier, and movement is northeast at 50 miles per hour. Hazards are 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. It is radar indicated, and roof damage, siding damage, and tree damage is all possible. Monroe, Flat Rock, Carlton, Luna Pier as early as 4:55. Trenton early as, did I say 4:55? Yeah, 4:55. Trenton, 5 o'clock. Taylor, Romulus, Gross Eel around 5:05. Wyandotte, 5:10. Belle Isle, 5:25. And Grosse Pointe, around 5:30. Other locations in this severe thunderstorm warning include Newport, Gibraltar, Erie, Woodland Beach, Stony Point, Bulls Harbor, Rockwood, Samaria, Azalea, and Ecorse. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of the building. Avoid those exterior walls where trees may come through. And that Riverview cam continues to impress. It's actually really gotten a cool little feature to it in the last couple of minutes here, last 2 minutes since I switched back to radar. And again, there's a nice shelf cloud underneath there and a base to it as well. So one of our 2 or 3 cameras in Wayne County, and this one's courtesy of Electronic Tech Solutions. If you would like to sponsor a camera in Southeast Michigan or anywhere in the state, we're always looking for new locations. Feel free to reach out to us. Again, Ryan's email, he's right below me, or he was right below me. His email is ryan@michiganstormchasers.com to get the ball rolling, again, in terms of setting up a weather camera in your neighborhood. And again, it's huge because, again, you're looking out for your neighborhood and you're able to also get exposure-based advertising for your business. So again, shout out to Electronic Tech Solutions for this camera in the Riverview area looking to the west where the storm is rolling in. And again, that is a nice looking shelf cloud if you are interested in taking pictures of that at the current time. Your safety is first and foremost. Again, you can see it coming your way. It's moving off from the northeast at 50 miles per hour. If you have time to take shelter, make sure you're doing so right now if you're inside of any of these orange boxes. A measured gust coming in 54 miles per hour at the Detroit City Airport, reported at KDET. And again, 54, so just inside of the Hamtramck area here. Again, SL is now in the Grosse Pointe Woods region, primarily moving on to Lake St. Clair. And speaking of that, in the Harsons Island area south of Algonac is seeing the brunt of those winds on South Channel Drive and Poplar Street. Also, again, LaCroix Road, all in the southern side of Algonac and Harsons Island. So keep that in mind at the current time. The severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until 7 p.m., so another 2 hours here. Again, they're going to start trimming counties back from the west as this line of storms does move through. Right now, we're very close to actually this event wrapping up. I don't believe there's going to be any more development off to the north, but
Hey, Joel.
we'll have to watch. Go ahead.
Check out Fulton County in Ohio. We got back building storms here up into Monroe County.
Gotcha. Yeah, right down here. And again, this is kind of that back line here. It extends from Hillsdale to Ann Arbor to Pontiac up to Crosswell in Imlay City. That line is essentially your all clear line right now. But again, these storms are still moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Lenawee and Monroe County, you're in a warning right now for the cells that are currently in the county. But these cells, as Ryan was mentioning, in Fulton County are heading up into southern Monroe County with time.
We did officially hit 800,000 followers on Facebook.
You guys?
Check Chat B for our 800,000th follower, Joel. You can get a good laugh out of that.
Nice. Wind right now, I would imagine they're going to start trimming central portions of St. Clair County from this warning, as this line is now pretty much all the way into Ontario. Still got Harson's Island and Algonac being impacted by these perhaps 60-mile-per-hour winds. Would not be surprised, actually. There's a little bit of rotation there, but that is over in Ontario. And Ryan, we've mentioned this before, Ontario magic. Sometimes you get that squeeze play, and again, some funky things happen in Ontario. It's possible this afternoon. Yep. And so you kind of see that with these winds that make that little backwards C shape in there. If you look up at storm relative, you can see a little bit of rotation in there, and that again is heading off towards Petrolia and points south of that in Ontario. So if you know anyone over there in Ontario today, feel free to give them a heads up. You can tune into their local coverage in southwest Ontario for the information over there. Winds from Algonac and Harson's Island are heading over into the Wallaceburg area within the next 5 minutes. There's the trim for St. Clair County, a little bit more there. And Macomb County also likely about to be dropped just completely off the map here very soon, as this rain really starts to die down in the East Point and St. Clair Shores area. Rain also impacting downtown Detroit at the current time. And eventually moving down here into the Southgate, Lincoln Park, and Riverview area where our Riverview camera is currently located. Again, the shelf cloud still moving in to the region. If you have questions on weather cameras, please reach out to Ryan at MichiganStormChasers.com. And he'll have more information on what you would need to set up a camera in your neck of the woods. The severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Wayne County, the central portion of Wayne County, has been allowed to expire here at 5 o'clock as it's run out of time. The severe thunderstorm warning in southeastern Wayne County continues, so that is Lincoln Park down to Trenton, Flat Rock, and Gibraltar, so pretty much all of downriver area. As this line of 60-mile-per-hour winds and perhaps penny-sized hail does move in to the region. Again, if you're north of this line, so up towards Sheldon, Wayne, Westland, Livonia, this line has passed by you guys. You guys are good for now. And I'll show you guys that on radar for a quick example here. Again, here's your line. You can see if I flip it back here, there's your old orange box for that severe thunderstorm warning. It is no longer in effect. But for portions of southeast Wayne County, you still have this little bit of area that is included. So take shelter. You still have storms kind of training over the same area. We'll go ahead and look at the DTW radar at the airport and look at the winds, and they're there, just existing. I'm not seeing anything too wild. I'm seeing about 40 to 45 across the area, which would be below severe limits. But again, you can't count out these winds completely from downbursting in a scan or two. So be prepared for 60-mile-per-hour winds at any moment within any one of these cells, because we've seen this multiple times today, guys, where it looks like 30 to 40 on radar. The next scan comes in and boom, you have a 60-mile-per-hour pixel, 65, 70-mile-per-hour pixel that is there for 2 scans, and then it goes away again because it does have a downburst. So please, if you're in the line of fire for any one of these storms, it's better to be safe than sorry when taking shelter. We also have someone out biking in this storm. I don't know if you can see at the center of the screen there. He's heading right into it, past our rear view camera there. Hopefully he's able to get inside before the rain and the wind hits. Again, that is courtesy of Electronic Tech Solutions in Riverview. Again, if you guys have any sort of wind damage from earlier today, so wind damage started all the way back in Livingston County and portions of Oakland County, even in portions of perhaps eastern Jackson County where there's a couple special weather statements in effect. Anywhere from that point in the east all the way down to Lenawee County as well, where they didn't really have any warnings per se, but some gusty winds moved through. If you're in any of those counties that I mentioned in points to the east, let us know if you guys have damage. And again, we'll send those over to the National Weather Service as soon as we can. And once more, again, send in those damage reports to us in any one of our posts on Facebook besides our live stream that is currently ongoing. We also have our Michigan Weather Reports community page on Facebook. If you just type in Michigan Weather Reports, it'll pop right up. Direct messaging is open via Messenger, and as always, our Discord server, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers is there as well. Again, make sure when you join our Discord channel to follow the rules upon joining, so that way you don't get kicked for being a spam account. The white lines coming down from the clouds, again, that's going to be your rain curtains there on the right side of the screen. So that is your core of rain that's about to hit the Riverview area. Again, your shelf cloud is right up here in the center of the screen as a sign of some winds gusting out from the thunderstorm. Also have a little bit of scud underneath the base here, where that rain is cooling and then getting re-infected up into the storm. As it recondenses up into the storm, it turns into that scud cloud. So you'll often see rising motion right here, right on the edge of that rain core. And again, that is your scud, as it's called. So, sign that it is raining right there. And some of that updraft is pulling that scud back up into the storm. That's a good point. I see a couple comments about power outages here in chat. Ryan, any updates in terms of power outages specifically across southeast Michigan? I know it's going to be kind of hard to tell with how much damage we have from yesterday as well. It might be from yesterday, it might be from today.
Yeah, there's not anything significant that I'm seeing. There's a few scattered outages across southeast Michigan. We've only risen about 2,000 customers since we started to stream about 2 hours ago.
Okay.
So not much to report on that.
Very isolated.
Yeah.
Stretch in here. Been standing for a little bit.
The good news here, Joel, is we're almost done, I think.
Yep. Close. We're still watching, of course, as you mentioned, those cells down in Fulton County, Ohio. That would be a concern for the Lambertville area with time here. But yeah, for anywhere north of Monroe County, we're probably about 20 minutes or less away from being in the all clear. Again, Macomb County, your warning has been allowed to expire early. In St. Clair County, it's basically through except for Algonac and points south. Your warning is expiring in 23 minutes at the very latest, but I would imagine it'll probably be done here by about 5:15. So overall, decent severe weather day for southeast Michigan. We saw severe thunderstorm warnings across all southeast Michigan counties except for, I think, Lenawee, I believe. And portions of Lapeer, I guess, would count as southeast Michigan. So almost every county seen a severe thunderstorm warning today. Not all locations, of course, verified those 60-mile-per-hour winds, but there were a lot of isolated downbursts out there. And we do have damage across Oakland, Macomb, Livonia counties, and I believe in Livingston County as well, if I recall, from this event. Would not be surprised if there's also damage reports coming in from Macomb and St. Clair areas as those cells rolled through the I-94 corridor there from Warren up towards New Baltimore and up towards St. Clair.
In Monroe County, off of the airport radar, the line in northern Monroe is starting to gain some steam on velocity. It is not close to severe, but it went from like 50-mile-per-hour winds to 30 here in one scan. So it is starting to pick up some steam.
Yeah, so the only severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now are for southern St. Clair, southeastern Wayne, and Monroe counties. If you are not in any one of those counties, you are no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. As a reminder, a watch is different from a warning. Watch means we're still watching for severe weather. However, we'll probably see a couple of those watches continue to be trimmed as we get closer to the 7 o'clock hour. We will likely be done probably by 6 o'clock, if I had to imagine, here in southeast Michigan. Monroe County is going to be the last county to watch as storms travel in from the Fulton and Lucas County, Ohio regions. But out to the west, clear skies for the most part. We do have some more rain moving into West Michigan, but again, no severe storms at the current time expected for West Michigan this evening. A bunch of birds right at the edge. I don't know if I can see them. Oh, they just flew off the screen. We had a bunch of birds up here at the top near the Electronic Tech Solutions logo that were circling around right at the edge of the shelf cloud here. So it's very interesting. They're using their wind to their advantage. More scud also being pulled up into the storm right here, center and right side of the screen. Scud clouds also, you guys can probably imagine it here, scud clouds often get mislabeled as tornadoes, and again, they sometimes look like them, but again, you do have to keep in mind that scud clouds are often just rising up into the clouds and not rotating. And again, there's a very fine line between scud and, of course, rotation itself. And sometimes scud can, if it gets caught in the updraft, it does rotate up into the storm. So you have to keep a keen eye on whether or not that's scud or not. And right now, this is 100% scud. As today, again, we're not seeing much in terms of rotation out there whatsoever. Warning for Wayne County is set to expire here in the next 30 or so minutes, 35 minutes here on that at the latest. We'll probably see a trim here within the next 10, though. Same for St. Clair County. You guys are supposed to be done at 5:30. However, this warning will probably be done in the next 5 minutes, as most of these storms in this orange box. Sorry, I got to change it back here. There we go. St. Clair County. That orange box is the severe thunderstorm warning for southern St. Clair. It's all south of 94 right now, and as you can see, these storms are pretty much all the way over into southwest Ontario. So 5:30 for St. Clair, 5:45 at the latest for this extreme southeast corner of Wayne County. As a reminder, again, it's only part of Wayne County. Again, if you're to the north of this edge of this severe thunderstorm warning box, you're not in that severe thunderstorm warning. So it's very, very important that you know where you're located on a county-based map, because this severe thunderstorm warning does cut Wayne County kind of into a third here, where it includes downriver areas such as Lincoln Park, Riverview, Trenton, Gibraltar, Flat Rock, and Willow. But again, if you're north, so New Boston, Taylor, and north of Lincoln Park, you're not in that severe thunderstorm warning. These are the only severe thunderstorm warnings in the state right now. There's no other severe weather going on anywhere else in the state of Michigan, and these storms are continuing off to the east, east-northeast, towards Lake Erie and southwest Ontario. With time, if you're further to the south in Ohio, you're also going to see some severe thunderstorm warnings, primarily across northwest Ohio, eventually moving into central Ohio with time this evening. So if you have plans over in the Lima, Findlay, Sandusky, and even Cleveland areas later tonight, those lines of thunderstorms are going to be heading that way as well.
Take my office cam. It is downpouring outside. I can hear it hit my window. I guess you can't really tell there, but it is downpouring here.
Mm-hmm. And if for whatever reason you're still hearing sirens in the area, that is for severe thunderstorm warnings. The highest active alert is always going to be displayed on the bottom of the screen if you're new here. And again, severe thunderstorm warnings are always beneath a tornado warning. So if there was a tornado warning in effect, you would see the bar light up red with tornado warning labeled. And again, if you're hearing sirens, as a reminder for the, I think, 5th time we said this in the stream, they are outdoor warning sirens. They're not called tornado sirens. So sometimes, for example, in Wayne County, if you're hearing them there, Wayne County's policy, as of last check, is they issue the outdoor warning sirens anytime there is a severe thunderstorm warning in the county. So even if part of the county is in a severe thunderstorm warning, they'll issue the sirens county-wide. It's not the best way to do it, but often that is what they will do now, especially since the incident in 2024. Current time right now, 5:12. If you haven't already done so, and you appreciate our live stream coverage, you can hit that like button. It's free to do. Best way to support operations completely for free is, of course, hitting that like and share button. And, of course, it shows that you care for your fellow Michiganders by letting them know that severe weather is ongoing today, especially here in Southeast Michigan on May 19th. And again, if for whatever reason the live stream isn't working on one platform, we are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, X, and TikTok at the username MI Storm Chasers. Yes, this has primarily been a damaging straight line wind event. Thank you to everyone who donated jewels earlier. Again, I didn't show the names, but I saw them on here, so thank you guys very much. Going through super chats real quick while we have a moment. Again, gusty winds, by the way, traveling into Flat Rock in Trenton and Carlton right now. Also heading up towards Petersburg with an isolated cell there. That storm is still trying to get its act together. Otherwise, downtown Detroit is starting to move out of the line of storms for severity. Over on YouTube, though, we have a bunch of super chats to read off real quick. We have about 6 of them. And right now, the top one, the first one earlier this afternoon, $4.99 super chat from Sean Mark. Asking, could this be kind of the day it was for the unwarned Union City? The answer is no. Union City was a very unique day with an isolated supercell out in front. Also, that day was actually pretty well warned. Union City did have enough warning for that storm. Obviously there was no watch on that day, but they did get a tornado warning in a decent amount of time there for Union City. And again, our hearts are still with those who were impacted by that storm. So this day is not like the Union City day, though. Also, we have Artesia, $10 super chat, saying just a general thanks for all your hard work, as always, and kudos on your pronunciations. It's not easy, and you do better than I sure would, with a smiley face emoji. Yeah, thank you very much. We definitely try our best to get it right when we can. And again, I'm from the west side of the state. Ryan's more from the east side of the state, so some of us are better than others in certain sides of the state in terms of pronunciation. So thank you very much. Also, Dee Dee, coming back as an Emerald member now here on YouTube. Thank you very much, Dee Dee. Appreciate you very much. We have Linda A, $5 super chat. Dusk, 2315, joining the team as a bronze member. Michael upgrading their membership to silver. And Artesia again, back for month number 13, saying, can you explain the difference between derechos and downbursts? So derechos are more of a classification given to the entire line of storms. And I don't remember it keeps changing every single year, Ryan. You have to remind me again what the criteria is for a derecho, but it's pretty large, right?
I just learned yesterday they updated it. It used to be 240-mile long path length and a 60-mile width of a storm with a couple significant wind gusts along that line. However, they changed it to more specific criteria, which I do not know. I believe it's like 5 gusts over a certain criteria that's spread out over 50 miles or something like that. It's really weird how they changed it, but it's very difficult to just try and talk about.
Yeah,
I don't have the data in front of me.
Either way, it's basically the entire event versus the downburst would be with one individual storm. And again, a downburst is when the winds are coming down from that individual storm and spreading out in all directions. So, name pronunciation is like Morticia Adams, but with art. So Artesia, I guess. I do apologize if I'm still getting that wrong, but thank you so much for your support. Also, Chandler with a $10 super chat, our vice president here at MSC, mentioning Chill Bill Fund Day 3. As an inside joke from day 1, which was Sunday, where have fun set for Ryan's AC, which for whatever reason is not working in his room, but everywhere else in his apartment. So
To get my room cool here, I have to literally turn my AC down to 65 degrees just to get it cool in this room. It's because of the PC. It runs hot. So that's the main reason why.
dang. So that's the inside joke there. For those who are curious, of course. And we got PSY with 202 joules sent in here on YouTube as well. Thank you guys very much who have donated on YouTube. And also for those who have sent stars on Facebook. We don't see the Facebook side of things, but again, if you've sent stars throughout this live stream, we appreciate you guys as well. Detroit getting out of the clear right now. Also, marine wind gusts coming in from Grosse Pointe. Just official. This was as of 5 o'clock. Grosse Pointe Yacht Club, 76 miles per hour was a top wind gust. That is the top wind gust this afternoon from any one of those storms. So 76 as a significant wind gust reported from Grosse Pointe Farms area. Quite the report there. Also, Julie with a $5 super chat. Saying, okay, I won't read it out loud then, but it is on YouTube if you want.
Oh, you should.
If you want to see it. No, I'm not reading it.
You should definitely read it off.
Just
I will then.
Okay, then read it off.
No, I won't read it off.
Okay. Do you ever feel ...
You,
like a plastic bag ... question mark?
There you go. I do want to say something real quick, Joel. The
Yes.
cell in Berkey, Ohio, which is right on the Michigan border south of Blissfield. Yeah, that one right there. Off the TDW radar is intensifying with velocity.
Yep.
Monroe gusted to 58 just a little bit ago.
Actually, it says 59.
58.7 to be exact.
That was as of 4:48 this afternoon. So 1 mile per hour. Well, technically, that would be severe limits because of the rounding. Again, severe winds start at 58 miles per hour, but they rounded up and issue severe thunderstorm warnings at 60. So one of these times I should issue a severe thunderstorm warning with the exact mile per hour on it. 58 plus. Some small hail may still be falling here in the Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Farms area. According to our base reflectivity correlation coefficient, also, yes, small hail falling. Grosse Pointe Shores, Grosse Pointe Farms, right here on Kercheval Avenue, I believe is how you pronounce it, at Preston Place. Again, right there in Grosse Pointe Farms. So if you are to the east of Mack Avenue, that is where there's going to be some hail falling in the Grosse Pointe Farms area. Also does extend to downtown Detroit. Actually, I just realized my radar was updated. That's actually long gone. But again, the storms are now just bypassing Detroit. LaSalle and Windsor now being impacted by the hail, if anything. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is recent, Joel, but there is a 67 mile per hour gust on that Berkey cell now.
Wow. Like LSR?
That's observed. Yeah, no, observed. It's on the observation map. County Road N, just south of Assumption, Ohio. It's just south of US 20 there as that cell crossed. Again, I don't know. I assume that's an updated gust. I don't know what else would have caused that since midnight tonight. Or last night, should I say.
Yeah.
Which is when this time frame is. So that cell likely crank and wind there, heading up towards Sylvania, Ohio. And if that continues, it will move in toward Whiteford, Ottawa Lake, Whiteford, Lambertville, and St. Anthony, Samaria, Bedford areas. There's no warning on it in Lucas County, Ohio. Monroe County technically still warned for wind, so be mindful of that. This is a new cell working its way in. I'm going to assume that that latest gust is associated with that thunderstorm. So 67 mile per hour gust confirmed just south of Assumption, Ohio with that cell.
Also, again, a correction.
I'm not sure if we got this or not.
I was gonna say on Grosse Pointe
But,
Farms,
New
that was my mistake. Again, that cell is out of Grosse Pointe Farms by now. It is off into the Windsor and LaSalle areas in Ontario. Go ahead, Ryan.
I have a 59-mile-per-hour gust out of New Hudson, Michigan, which is just east of Brighton. That was earlier as well today.
I'd open my window as well. It was getting really hot in here. I need a thermometer in my room because for those who don't realize, when I run our streaming software, my PC is sounding like its own space station over here.
Yep.
So, and that heat that it creates from the PC is just circling in the room right now, especially with the windows closed. So, it feels like it's like 85 in my room right now. So it appears that all the storms are now out of the state besides Monroe County and extreme southern Wayne County, the Flat Rock and Gibraltar areas. Again, heading into Rockwood right now, Millville Beach. Also impacting Trenton at the current time. Again, winds could be severe at 60 and hail could be as large as penny size, which is 0.75 inches in diameter. Otherwise, most of the action is now in southwest Ontario. So Detroit, you guys should be good. It's just a little bit of light rain now. Tigers are also playing tonight, and it appears like they're going to be on schedule unless nearby thunder and lightning does delay the game a little bit more. So should be good if you're going downtown to Detroit tonight for either the Tigers game or anything else that's outside, or if you have any outdoor plans across southeast Michigan. We should be in the clear hopefully by 6 to 6:30 this evening. And again, if you're off to the west in West Michigan, a couple of you guys are watching from the Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Big Rapids area, and you're noticing it's getting dark outside. Right now, that is just normal rain, and we expect it to be normal rain throughout the evening hours. But if something does pop up, of course, we'll be tracking it. But at the current time, looks like it is just rain. And again, this is going to be a cold front moving through, and so it's going to get cold throughout the overnight hours. We got
Looks like...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope, you go ahead.
Nope. All you. What were you going to
I got
say?
nothing.
You said it looks like what?
I was going to say there's a new warning in Ohio for the cell just south of that in Napoleon, but nothing for that Lucas County cell yet.
Okay.
Looks like Detroit went ahead and continued the Monroe County warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. I don't see them trimming it back, so they didn't trim it back, which means they're probably keeping it for that cell moving up into the county right now.
Mm-hmm. And also for reference, as I mentioned, Ontario Magic, Ryan, there is a tornado warning in Kamoka, Strathroy, and western Middlesex County in southwest Ontario. That is just to the west of London, Ontario, with these cells. So we see all the time these storms get squeezed through by the lake breezes, and you get wind from every direction there, and you get some localized spin. And so that's what's ongoing. If you're traveling across southwest Ontario this evening now, near London, Ontario, tornado warning over there. Right now in effect. So in effect for another hour and 24 minutes. Again, we don't have our Southwest Ontario warnings over here on our screen, but again, Environment Canada, we can see them on our radar scope behind the scenes here, and there is a tornado warning just outside of London, Ontario.
Also, I can confirm that gust in Assumption, Ohio did occur 6 minutes ago at 5:20 p.m. So that is a recent gust.
All right. And I do have the airport radar pulled in here. I'm not seeing anything too crazy yet. I do probably want to update my storm motion vector, though. 248 at 35 knots. That really doesn't do anything either. So we'll just use base.
Yeah, looking at the last couple of updates, it has weakened out. If you were to back radar up, it was brighter green back toward that area.
Yeah. So heading up towards Lambertville and Temperance with time. And this severe thunderstorm warning does expire at 5:45, so if the warning is still in the county at that time, they may have to issue a very short-lived severe thunderstorm warning that probably extends it to 6. Toledo is under a special weather statement for 40-mile-per-hour winds, by the way. They did not have a severe thunderstorm warning there. So it's primarily just Monroe County at this point that we're waiting on. If you guys are into Lenawee, Washtenaw, Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties, really you guys are pretty much in the clear for this evening. We're still watching extreme southeast Wayne and, of course, Monroe counties for more severe weather. But the other 81 counties that are not mentioned are in the clear right now for the rest of the evening. We don't really expect any sort of redevelopment later tonight. But again, we'll always be watching here at Michigan Storm Chasers if that does change. As a reminder, St. Clair County's warning also did expire recently as well. So if you're in Algonac, you guys are clear there. Real quick shout out to more of our super chats coming on YouTube while I have a moment. Evan H., one of our chasers here at MSC, $10 super chat saying, I definitely feel like a plastic bag. Thank you very much, Evan. Also, we got PSY back for 700 joules donated. RS sent cheers for 100 joules, or 1,000 joules. Thank you very much, RS. We have Megan D., $2 super chat for our thermometer fund. That's brand new, I guess, if we get a thermometer for our room. We got Bertha with 200 joules, Melissa, 10 joules, and Megan D sending 5 gifted memberships to those who are subscribed on YouTube. So if you are subscribed here on YouTube for free, check your account. You may have just been gifted courtesy of Megan D. Also, encouragement to subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already. Again, it is free to do. Yes, this should be the last of the severe storms for the day. We may still see storms along the cold front overnight, but at the current time, again, nothing severe really expected beyond what is currently occurring in Monroe and Wayne counties. Cells are also getting quite small still. But we know this from experience already today. Small and mighty has been the name of the game for many of these cells across Oakland and Wayne County. So despite their size, they will still leave an impact for wind and perhaps some small hail upwards of pea to penny size in nature north of Toledo up towards Monroe within the next half hour. And again, anywhere you see on radar right now with the reds and the pinks, those are your heaviest of rain cores. Even some small hail moving in. And if we switch over to velocity, you'll be able to see the wind in some of these cells. You'll notice on this radar especially, there's a lot more purple showing up on our velocity radar. And again, that's range folded, so that's basically bad data that's showing up. And because it's such bad data, there's no need to display it, and so they just cover it over with purple. Got Bertha sending an UNC alert for 440 joules here on YouTube. Thank you very much, Bertha, for your support. That storm is moving fast north across southern Monroe County, Ryan. Again, heading up directly on Summerfield Road right now, about to cross over Erie Road. It's almost moving due north with a little bit of a surge there to the north of Lambertville. That's really the only core of wind I see.
Yep, I would agree with you.
Wind in the Trenton-Gibraltar area is now passing onto the Detroit River as well, heading towards Amherstburg in southwest Ontario. So Gibraltar and Trenton, you'll be good in probably 2 minutes or so. Again, it's passing over River Road now on the island in Grosse Ile. So again, Grosse Ile is last up here for Wayne County, and then it'll be good for Wayne here in southeast Michigan. Tiny little cell just south of Carlton right now. Not much going on there. The only concern right now, I believe, is going to be these two little cells in the Monroe. In fact, Monroe is starting to rain itself out as well there on that outflow boundary. It's just going to be the Lambertville and Temperance area that we need to watch.
DTW radar has wind gusts up to 41 miles per hour over Temperance Road and Summerfield Road. That's the core of it.
Yep. Is that actually the storm there on your office window?
Probably. Oh, wow.
Like yep.
Would you look at that? I'll bet we're going to see a rainbow once it passes to the east.
Oh, yeah, we're getting to that time of the day. Again, that live location is not Britain. It is going to be in the Dundee area. Ryan, you'll have to update that at some point with your phone.
Yeah, I was on my my work phone. I don't have that nearby right now. I gotta find it.
Okay. But yeah, it is Dundee looking south there in Monroe County. So that storm is 10 to 15 miles from you there, probably, give or take.
Oh, let's find out.
What do you have pulled up on your link?
The what?
What do you have pulled up on your link right now?
Nothing.
Okay. I won't take you then.
It is approximately 11.6 miles.
There you go. So about 12 miles away there. That is the storm down in Monroe County that we are watching very closely for some gusty winds of perhaps severe criteria. Again, 60 miles per hour is severe for these
Looking
storms.
at the reflectivity, DBZ is increasing on that storm as well.
Could be some hail. You have a little bit of a green triangle now popping up on GR2. As a reminder, those little automated green triangles are computer generated by the GR2 software, which is our radar software. And Ryan, right now it's depicting maybe upwards of half-inch hail on Douglas Road near Samaria Road.
Yeah, the DTX radar, the core is not even up to 30,000 feet yet.
Okay.
This is a pretty shallow storm. I wouldn't have too much concern at this point. Just yet, at least.
The hail core on that is up to about 17,000 feet. So still, for the most part, kind of in and below that freezing layer. And there goes the trim for Wayne. So it is now just Monroe County in this severe thunderstorm warning. Wayne County, you now are in the clear. So if you're tuning in from Wayne County, thank you guys for watching. Again, hit that like button on the way out if you feel the need to do so. Otherwise, feel free to sit and watch with the rest of us here as Monroe County still continues their severe thunderstorm warning through 5:45. Maybe an extension to 6 o'clock. We'll see. Maybe they'll pull like a short fused special weather statement. But again, these storms may just be through the state by 5:45. We'll see. Monroe, Luna Pier, you guys are up next for that storm you can see at the top right of the screen, courtesy of our office cam from Ryan. So Monroe and Luna Pier, be on alert for some gusty winds and perhaps some small hail heading your direction. That would include I-75 as well, south of Monroe.
I can't tell if I'm hearing thunder or something else.
Trucks and thunder at the same time. Maybe.
Something.
Ooh, new downburst, actually. Boy, that is really close to Michigan. We're talking like Edgewater Drive here in the very edge of Michigan and Ohio. New downburst in the Harbor View area of Ohio, just south of Luna Pier. This is also the area which had the total solar eclipse in 2024. A tiny little sliver of Michigan down there in the edge of the Ohio-Michigan border. Looks like a downburst in Harbor View, Ohio, that could be downbursting to the north, a couple miles south of Luna Pier. Just notice that on our Detroit terminal Doppler radar. You can see the reds and greens showing up in opposite directions right there. Circle it with my mouse. There's your downburst in Temperance, Erie Road at Douglas, heading up towards Samaria.
Has to be thunder. It's just constant.
Yeah.
Not constant, but it's continuous. I'm trying to say it keeps happening over and over, but it's not like consistent thunder.
Right. We're kind of playing the wait and see game right now. We keep mentioning that downburst in the Temperance area, but other than that, there's not really anything going on. Looks like we had a brief downburst also in Maybe that was not really worth mentioning, but there was a quick little red and green spot on Doty Road at Stadler. Very, very quick. Also up towards Blue Bush Road, and that was it. Likely a downburst of 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. That's not even severe. I just noticed that as it was looping through. But again, we're kind of playing the waiting game here for the sell down in the Temperance area. Once that is through, will likely be good to call it a stream. I guess while we have a moment, Ryan, we could probably go through our trusted partners here at MSC before the stream ends. And again, what we do here at MSC is full-time, and so in order to keep operations going full-time, we do have a set list of trusted partners that you can also become a part of if you have a business that is willing to support MSC operations. So we have a list of about 19 of those trusted partners here at MSC, and we'll go ahead and read those off in order from A to Z here at the bottom of the screen. Once again, they all specialize primarily in roofing and restoration work, but there's also a bunch of other services out there, such as tree services and even charities you can donate to support across the state of Michigan. First up, down at the bottom of the screen, we have A-Class Construction and Restoration, covering Northwest Lower Peninsula. American Arbor, covering tree work in the Southwest Michigan area. Apex Restoration, for all of your restoration work in the Thumb and Genesee County. Battle Creek IT, for all of your IT and technology needs across the state of Michigan, primarily in southern Michigan. Crystal Flash, for all of your fuel propane delivery needs across the Lower Peninsula. Inc. Media, for all of your digital marketing needs and website design. Feel free to reach out to Inc. Media. Katz Roofing and Siding, for all of your roofing and siding projects in the Lansing and Potterville area. Kuiper Tree Care, we're talking West Michigan here as your top option for tree-related services. In Southeast Michigan, where storms have battered the area today, your top option for tree specialist needs is going to be McKay Tree Specialists. Call the 248 number there on your screen. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding. Also, if you're over in Sanilac and St. Clair counties where there was a severe thunderstorm warning both yesterday and today, that's your top option for roofing and siding needs in that area. We also have On Top Roofing. If you live in Livingston County and surrounding areas and got impacted today, feel free to reach out to On Top Roofing for all of your roofing needs there. West Michigan, contact Rainbow Restoration for all of your storm cleanup needs there. If you're in Detroit or anywhere around the state of Michigan, donating to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Detroit is a great option, especially to help out families in need find the comfort they deserve in times of sickness. Surf Pro, covering all of your fire, water damage, and mold remediation and storm cleanup needs 24/7, 365 days a year. Storm Guard, Metro Detroit North, covering Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw counties where really the majority of these storms traveled through today. You, in fact, saw their weather camera being used during this stream. Storm Guard Metro Detroit North has you covered for all of your exterior home construction needs and roof-related needs there. Also, we have Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors. It's your top option for West Michigan. Top Notch Tree Care, covering Lansing to Jackson for all of your tree care needs. And Victor's Home Solutions for all of your roofing, gutters, and attic installation services across the Tri-Cities region. And again, that is up in the Midland, Bay City, and Saginaw area. Once again, we also have Carlton Equipment Company. They have the Bobcat equipment to handle it all. Rentals, sales, parts, and service from storm cleanup to everyday work. They are your partner in success. So that is our full list of trusted partners here at MSC. Appreciate all of them for helping keep operations going 365 days a year. And as I mentioned, Chandler is your go-to to get the ball rolling there. Chandler at MichiganStormChasers.com. Looking back at radar here, that cell continues off to the north of Temperance, and it is starting to kind of merge with another cell that is in the Monroe area. We'll take a look at our winds right now as an update. And at the current time, that wind right now is on Yarger Road near Minks, just south of Wood Road. So just outside of Monroe to the south, but combining with another cell that is in Monroe at the current time and points south. So South Monroe and West Monroe and over into Detroit Beach. Some gusty winds are possible and some small hail. At 59 mile per hour gust that is showing up there on the center of your screen is from 4:48 this afternoon, so about an hour ago now. Would not be surprised if we saw another couple of severe gusts before this went on to Lake Erie. But again, these storms right now are overall generally weak in nature. And the severe thunderstorm warning ends in less than a minute. Minute and 5 seconds, actually, to be exact. If you're in Southwest Ontario, this line is heading your way. It's already impacting Southwest Ontario. So if you know anyone over there that is being impacted, feel free to send them a little message and let them know that you got severe storms moving through today. And of course, if you're traveling in through northern Ohio, this line does extend pretty far south through Indiana and Ohio and is expected to cross Ohio this evening and tonight.
Officially expired.
Boom, there you go. The only warning in effect is the special marine warning for western Lake Erie. That's that blue box you see on the screen, but we are now in all clear ops. Highest active alert right now is a severe thunderstorm watch, which will also likely be trimmed here very, very soon, which will eventually make the highest active alert in the state, I kid you not, a freeze watch for frost expected across northern Michigan later tonight. Other than that, though, it looks like we're about ready to wrap up again. Gusty winds and small hail still possible in the Monroe area, despite the fact the warning has expired. In fact, we are downbursting right now in Monroe, it looks like a little bit, directly on Hull Road at Dunbar Road. So it's really close to I-75 here along Lake Erie. So keep that in mind. Some gusty winds are possible, not severe at the current time, but some small twigs and branches can be brought down, and maybe an isolated power outage or two if those trees happen to be rotted with some larger branches.
Thunder here is getting louder and louder, which I don't understand.
That secondary, Ryan, if you look at it, well, you're in the Dundee area, that secondary cell, not really much of a cell, but just a patch of rain, is actually drifting a little bit further north. As close as Summerfield Road at US 23 now. So that's probably within 8 miles of you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but it is getting louder. Oh, wow.
Also looks like there is some half-inch hail that could be falling on US 24 right now, right in the vicinity of US 24 and Otter Creek Road. According to GR2 software analysis, if you look at VIL, yes, there's a tiny little quarry here on the Otter Creek Road vicinity, and that has now moved over into South Monroe in the latest scan. Other than that, we are in the all clear ops right now. We'll go ahead and loop the radar as we speak about our kind of like shameless plugs here at the end of the stream. First and foremost, again, appreciate you guys for donating throughout the stream. It's always optional to do, but we appreciate you guys so much. It all helps keep operations flowing here 365 days a year. Again, by becoming a member, for example, here at MSC, you can get early forecasts every single day. Also, if you become a silver member, for example, you can also get early access to some of our videos, such as the documentary that we were just recently released. And if you haven't checked that out yet, highly recommend to go check it out. It was a lot of hard work done to get that done. Again, our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@MI Storm Chasers, or if you just type in Michigan Storm Chasers in YouTube, you'll find us pretty quickly. And again, give that a watch, and you guys can see how bad it just was up there with the ice storm in 2025. So again, shout out to our team here that put that together. It was a lot of work well done. But again, that's just an example of one of many videos that sometimes we release early. And again, that is just a perk that you get. Also, if you would like some merch in exchange for supporting operations, we do have our Color Rush shirts out there now in our store, and just released our tank tops and tie-dye shirts for this summer. So again, our MichiganStormChasers.com website is there for you guys to check out. Feel free to click on the support tab and click on the shop button. Under that support tab is also ways you can donate monetarily, just directly right to MSC operations. Again, feel no need to donate, but it's there if you guys would like to. With that being said, Ryan, is there anything else you would like to add in terms of shameless plugs, or anything in terms of what we're looking for in the days to come?
Days to come, no severe weather expected after this evening. I think we're trying to go into a more quieter pattern for the time being, but we do warm back up for the weekend. So attention will be shifted into probably next week for potentially our next chance of some stronger storms.
Yeah, a little bit of a cool down this upcoming week, or I should say coming up tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, with this frost in the morning. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we warm up back for Memorial Day. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I know many of us here at MSC are ready for the summer weather. Should stay, at least in some capacity, in the 70s and perhaps 80s for most of southern Michigan as we move into the month of June. But again, long-term patterns can change on a dime. We'll keep you posted if that does, but as Ryan mentioned, warmth is on the way once we get into Memorial Day weekend. Other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a stream. This rain and hail is now pretty much moving on to Lake Erie at the current time. We don't expect any more warnings to pop in. If we do, of course, we'll be back live tracking it. But at the current time, this looks to be below severe limits. Downburst obviously ongoing right now on Front Street. Winds sub-severe in nature. We're seeing winds upwards of 45 miles per hour, which would be statement worthy. But again, it is so close to Lake Erie, they likely will not issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for that. Development in Ohio is still possible, but this is mainly going to be sliding into Toledo and points east. So again, if we do go live, again, make sure you hit that notification bell at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube, and they'll let you know if we go live again. With that being said, I am Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma, alongside President of Operations Ryan right below me. We're the Michigan Storm Chasers signing off for now, and we'll catch you live back here for another severe weather live stream or briefing in the days and weeks to come. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone, and we'll talk soon.